Hello everyone, if you're new to my channel, consider liking and subscribing. It will make me feel wonderful if you do that. Thanks. By the way, I also have another Naruto and Luffy fanfiction channel. If you are interested, link is in the description.
Together we're ASL by The Innocent One. 1, 2, 3. On the way to Logtown, Luffy tells his crew of his big brothers Ace and Sabou and the promise they made as kids. With 3 captains and the combination of 3 crews, what challenges lie ahead for the newly formed ASL Pirates? Huge shout out to all the warlords of this channel. You know who you are. Want to stand among legends? Join the channel membership and show your support. Adios.
She. Luffy laughed, holding up his wanted poster. Looks like we're wanted men now. It says 30 million belly. Once again, you splendidly failed to understand the gravity of your situation. Nami sighed, covering her face with her hand just as Usopp was bragging to Sanji. Don't you realize your life is now at risk? With that bounty, the Marine HQ as well as strong bounty hunter will be after you. With this, we can't afford to stay in the East Blue. Then let's go to the Grand Line. Luffy laughed with Sanji and Usopp dancing in agreement. Luffy looked at his poster, grinning. I wonder if my brothers saw this already. Everyone froze at Luffy's statement. Brothers? Zoro questioned. Luffy grinned before looking into his pockets, taking out 2 folded pieces of papers. I have 2 older brothers, Luffy started explaining as he was unfolding the papers. They left on their pirate adventure 3 years ago when they became 17. Though their birthdays are like 2 months apart. Ah, here we go. Luffy presented 2 wanted posters to his nakama. These are my brothers. When they saw the wanted posters, their jaws dropped. Why your brothers? Usopp stuttered. Are Fire Fist, Ace and Blue Gentleman, Sabou? Nami finished for Usopp. Luffy grinned. She. Yep, Luffy answered, putting away the posters. We made a promise a long time ago, and Ace and Sabou said they would be waiting for me in Logtown once I became 17. A promise, huh? Zoro wondered, casually sitting back. Luffy nodded vigorously. It's a very important promise, because it includes all of you guys, too. Us? Usopp squeaked. How? Well, 10 years ago. Let me go, Ace screamed, trying to get out of the ropes that held him to the tree. Shut up, brat, Deiden yelled back. We're doing this for own good. Do you want to get killed, too? I have to avenge Sabou. The person who killed him is going to. Ace, a voice called out. Ace, Deiden, Dogra, and Mogrid turned to the owner of the voice. Standing there was Sabou. Though he had dirt here and there and a burn mark over his left eye, he was fine. Sabou, all of them yelled in shock. Mogra saw Ace's struggle with the ropes, and untied him. Ace ran to Sabou as soon as his feet hit the ground, and gave a hard hit on Sabou's head. Ow! What the hell, Ace? Sabou shouted as he held onto his head. That's for scaring us, you idiot, Ace snapped. Geez, I really thought you were gone when Dogrid told me you were dead. I'm sorry, okay, Sabou argued back. After my boat got shot at, I blacked out. The next thing I know, I'm on a cliff with a man who helped me last night. What man? Never mind that, Sabou sighed, taking off his hat, and brushing back his hair. I'm just glad to be back. TCH, so am I, Ace agreed. Man, that was a real scare. Luffy was oh shit. Luffy. We gotta tell him you're alive. Where is he? I think he's MNN Ace. The 2 brothers looked to see their younger brother, Luffy. Luffy was rubbing his eyes sleepily, unaware what was going on. What's going on, Ace? Luffy yawned. Ace put an arm around Sabou, pointing at said boy. Look who's back from the dead, Lu, Ace exclaimed. Luffy, with droopy eyes, looked at Sabou. Oh, it's Sabou, Luffy mumbled. There was a silence until Luffy's eyes popped open. Sabou. Luffy tackled Sabou, dragging Ace down also. Oi, what the hell, Lu? Ace shouted. Sabou's alive. Luffy cried. He sat up, giving a confused look through his teary eyes, but Dogra said. Well, let's just say a miracle happened, Lu. Sabou laughed a little. Deiden went up to the 3 boys. Brat, you know this means you can't go back in town, Deiden told Sabou. Who cares? Sabou said. As long as my so-called parents don't come back for me and try to kill my brothers, I hated that town anyway. Yeah, and we can still hunt for food here, Luffy stated. Luffy is right. He and I can try and get things for Sabo if he ever needs anything, Ace suggested. The three laughed, causing Dayton to give a really small smile. She went back to scowl. All right, she said, acting unconcerned. The three of you get back inside and get washed up. She began kicking them to intimidate them. But the boys kept laughing as they ran back their way to the Dayton house. That night, the brothers went to their room after a tiring day. Luffy and Ace instantly flopped down onto their futons while Sabo sat on his. Sabo looked at his brothers before speaking. Hey, guys, he said, getting their attention. Remember the time we argued about who would be captain? Yeah, what about it? Ace asked. Then again, we haven't come up with a conclusion. Well, I was thinking, Sabo began, how about we all become captains of one crew? Huh? The two Ds said in confusion. Is that even possible? Luffy asked. Sabo shrugged. Doesn't hurt to try it out, Sabo said. Hold on, Ace interrupted, sitting up. We're to leave this place when we become 17. That means we'll be leaving at different times. What are we going to do about that? Sabo smirked. I thought you say that. You see, before I left Hightown, I was reading a map. Apparently, there's this island called Log Town. It's a place where pirates usually go to before going to the Grand Line, Sabo explained. Ace, you and I will meet each other there once Luffy becomes 17. From there, we will combine our three crews together. Ace made a face, indicating that he was thinking. His face grew into a wide smile. I like that idea, Ace agreed. Yeah, it's perfect, Luffy exclaimed. We'll be the ultimate crew. The freest of them in the sea, Sabo followed by. On the search of the One Piece, Ace replied. To become pirate kings, the three finished together, laughing. Go to bed, you brats, Dayton's voice screamed from below. Luffy laughed after he explained the promise to his crew. So, we're basically going to have a bigger crew, Sanji simply said. Yep, Luffy answered. I can't wait to meet their nakamas. Sounds like you guys are really close, Nami said, admiring the sibling bond. Luffy laughed again, only to be interrupted by Zoro. Hey, I see an island, he called out. The crew gathered to the front of the Going Merry. They saw the island ahead, relieved to see they could resupply. Oh, this island, Nami started, is Logtown. It's known as the island of the beginning and the end. Because the Pirate King was born here and was executed here, Luffy finished for her, with a neutral look slapped onto his face. So you know about that, huh? Nami asked her goofy captain. Luffy nodded before smiling. Yosh! Let's go meet my brothers and our new nakama, Luffy exclaimed excitedly, gaining smiles from the others. Onward to Log Town. One Piece. A male blonde about the age of 20 took the newspaper from the news queue, thanking the bird before paying it. The blonde opened the paper looking through it. Then a paper fell from one of the pages. Picking it up, he looked at it. He then grinned madly before running into the hotel. Passing the people in the lobby, he ran up the stairs to his hotel room. He went in, seeing black-haired males sleeping on the couch of the hotel room. Oi! Wake up! The blonde shouted, kicking the other off the couch. The black-haired man yelped in surprise before sitting up, glaring at the man. What the heck? What's your deal? Shut up and look at this. The blonde interrupted, shoving the wanted poster in front of the other's face. Wah, holy shit, 30 million Baileys as his first bounty? The black-haired man exclaimed in surprise. I know, right? It took us at least 3 bounties to get this high, the blonde laughed. The other laughed with him. So, Sabo, the black-haired man began, shall we get ready? Sabo smirked. Assemble the others, Ace, Sabo replied. Ace stood up, and the two walked out the room, thinking the same thing. We're waiting, Luffy. Yosh, we're here, Luffy exclaimed, standing on the docks with his crew. While we're here I suggest we get some supplies, Nami said. I agree, Nami Swan, Sanji said with hearts in his eyes. I must get food seeing that we're going to have a bigger crew. I should get myself some new equipment, Usopp said to himself. Zoro looked to Nami. I need some money, but, Nami gave a sly smile. I'll be happy to lend you money, at a 300% interest, she chuckled, ticking off Zoro. I'm going to see the execution stand, Luffy firmly said. The others looked at him confused. "You're not going to meet your brothers?" Zoro asked. Luffy shook his head. "Nope. We're not in any hurry," Luffy began. "Besides, they'll know that I always wanted to go see it." "Alright, just be careful," Nami said. Luffy just laughed and walked off. The crew walked into their separate directions. For now, let's focus on Zoro and see what he's up to. He was walking down the street, trying to see if there was a swords shop anywhere. "It looks like your boss isn't with you today," a voice said, catching Zoro's attention. "It's all because you put him to jail," a gruff, scratchy voice followed. Zoro turned to see two thugs in front of a woman. From the sounds of it, the woman was a marine of some sort. "Seeing as how you haven't learned your lesson," the woman said, "I shall be your opponent." "Excuse me?" One of the thugs laughed. "What makes you think a little miss like you can beat us?" The other chuckled disgustingly. The two then rushed at her. "When you see that monster boss of yours, tell him our dream of the Grand Line is ruined because of him." The crowd began to panic. Zoro, himself, was about to intervene and help until the woman defeated the thugs in one move. Zoro was impressed. Then the woman suddenly fell in front of him, causing the crowd to laugh. "Ah, my glasses," she panicked. "Where are they?" Zoro decided to be a gentleman, and picked up her glasses, handing it to her. "Looking for these?" he asked. She took hold of her glasses, lifting up her head. Zoro froze. "Thank you," she smiled. "Sorry for troubling you with this." Out of pure shock, Zoro ran off. One Piece. Meanwhile, Luffy had found the execution stand. "Here it is," he said. "The place where the greatest pirate died, and started the pirate age." ONPIECE. Back with Zoro, he was still shocked about the woman who looked so much like his deceased friend, Kuina. Hoping to not see her again, he finally found himself in an arms shop. The owner saw him and gave a pleased smile. "Welcome, young man," he said. "I am Ippon Mastu, the owner of this fine shop. What can I interest you today?" "I have 100,000 belly," Zoro said. "I like to buy 2 swords." The man drooped in disappointed. "2 swords, huh?" he asked. "Swords for 50,000 are over there. But I gotta tell you, they're blood pieces of trash." "It will have to do. I don't have much," Zoro shrugged. Just then, someone entered the shop, catching Zoro's attention somehow. At the doorway was a young, dark-skinned male. He was about Zoro's age. His eyes were a stunning blue color while his hair was possibly the strangest thing Zoro saw. On the sides his hair was red, but the middle, which was styled in a mohawk fashion, was an indigo color. He wore a yellow jacket that stopped below his chest and the sleeves rolled up to his elbows. Underneath the jacket was a white shirt. He had brown baggy jeans and white shoes. Around his hip was a brown belt that looked like it was missing something important. Smiling, he walked up to the owner. "Hey, old man," he said, "did you sharpen my sword?" Yeah, kid," Ippon said, lifting up a sword with a white hilt. "Here ya go." The man took back his sword, unsheathing it a little, showing a purple-colored blade, surprising Zoro. "Hello beautiful, miss me?" he cooed to the sword. "Interesting sword," Zoro commented. "Thanks," the man said, sheathing his sword, placing it by his side. He looked towards the owner. "I need some polish and sharpening tools. Mind telling me where they are?" "Brat, they're over that way," Ippon said, pointing at some place in the shop. The man nodded before going over to that direction. As the male was looking through the items, he heard Ippon asking for Zoro's sword. Then he heard the owner trying to get Zoro sell his useless sword, which struck him strange, wondering why. His answer came as the same woman Zoro encountered came in, gushing over the white-hilted sword. "Isn't this Wado Ichimonji?" the woman asked. Zoro was wondering how she knew about his sword while the owner was trying to dissuade him. The woman opened a book, looking through it. "It's one of the 21 legendary swords. This sword can't be sold so cheaply." "Damn it, woman, you just ruined my business," the owner shouted at the woman. "Eh, did I say something wrong?" the woman panicked. "You came to pick up Shigur, right?" Ippon asked, taking out a sword. "Here it is, polished." He threw the sword at the young woman. "I can't believe such a sword belongs to a girl like you." The woman fumbled with catching her sword, causing her to crash into a sword rack next to the unknown man, who went to help her up. "Are you all right?" he asked, lending her his hand. I am fine, the woman said, taking his hand and standing up. Thank you. She noticed Zoro, walking to the barrels of 50,000 belly swords. Oh, it's you? Zoro grumbled a little before paying attention to the swords before him. Somehow, he got into a conversation with the woman, who kept talking about how masterwork blades were now in the hands of criminals and how the swords were crying. Then she got into an argument with the owner about a man by the name of Smoker. Just then, the woman picked up a sword, recognizing it. Ah, this is, she looked into her book, Sandai Kitetsu. She presented it to Zoro. I definitely believe that you should get this sword. She was talking about how there was a high-grade blade, wondering why it was being sold for 50,000 belly while Zoro unsheathed the sword, looking it over. The owner banged his hand on the counter, startling the three other people in the shop. I'm not selling that sword, Ippon declared. What? Why not? The woman asked. Zoro and the unknown man were both looking at the blade in Zoro's hand. It's cursed, isn't it? Zoro asked. You knew? Ippon asked. No, I can tell, Zoro answered, his eyes never leaving the blade. I know, the unknown man said. Starting with Shodai Kitetsu, that line of blades has excellent sharpness. But they are cursed due to the fact that everyone who wielded those swords died of unforeseen incidents. Exactly, Ippon agreed. I wish I could get rid of that sword myself, but I'm afraid of getting cursed. I'm so sorry, the woman stuttered, bowing to Zoro. I didn't know of such a sword. Forgive me, I'll find you another sword, but Zoro said otherwise. I like it, Zoro smirked. I'll take it, everyone was shocked. Are you serious? The unknown man asked. Bibaka? I said it's not for sale? Do you want to die? Ippon panicked before his wife started yelling at him to sell it already. Then how about we see which one is stronger, my luck or its curse? Zoro said confidently. He threw up the blade. If I lose, then that means I'll never amount to anything. He put his arm out to his challenge. Everyone began to panic. The blue and red-haired man wanted to push Zoro out of the way of the falling blade, but something had told him to stay in his current spot. The Kitetsu had narrowly missed Zoro's arm, as if decided that this man would be the one to truly wield him, and pierced the floor below. Zoro opened his eyes with a smile of victory. I'll take it. The owner and the woman fell to the ground in shock while the unknown man stood where he stand. Oi, you, Zoro said, pointing at the woman. Pick another sword for me. Oh, okay, the woman said, still in awe. Ippon, witnessing Zoro's courage and luck, told Zoro to wait. He went to the back of the Ith sword he called Yubashiri, telling Zoro to take it. Ha ha ha, Zoro blandly laughed, sorry, but I don't have any money. Don't worry about the money, the owner said. I'm giving you both of these swords for free. I'm sorry for trying to trick you earlier. I just haven't seen a swordsman like you in a long while. As they have said before, the sword chooses their master. Thank you, Zoro sword, holding the two swords. Now get over of here before my people think I'm going soft. Zoro laughed a little before leaving the shop, feeling secure with three swords now by his side. The other man waited a little before getting some stuff, placing money on the counter, telling Ippon to keep the change, and leaving also. The woman looked towards Ippon. I'm surprised you willingly gave him a family heirloom to him, she said. Shush, woman. Ippon snapped. What wrong with entrusting another man with high dream? Dear, please go clean the bathroom, his wife ordered. Yes dear, Ippon replied. The woman looked out the door. I still can't stand after seeing that, she said with a nervous smile. Zoro, as he walked down the street, felt someone follow him. He turned, seeing the red and blue-haired man smiling at him. What do you want? Zoro asked. Are you Roronoa, Zoro? The man asked, his smile still plastered on his face. Yeah, sweet, the man said with sparkling eyes, creeping Zoro out a little. I'm Kingston Arrow, can I fight you? Let's see, no, Zoro said, disappointing Arrow. Right now I have to go find my captain so he can meet his brothers. Arrow's eyes widened. Wait, hold on, Arrow said. Does your captain happen to be Monkey D. Luffy? Yes, Zoro slowly said, gripping one of swords. Cool, that means we'll be in the same crew soon. One Piece. At the Logtown Marine headquarters, a man with white hair, smoking two cigars, was fuming. Where the hell is Tashigi? He yelled. One of the Marine soldiers nervously saluted to him. Sir, Sergeant Major Tashigi is currently at the arms shop picking up her sword, he reported. How long is it taking her? We got sightings of pirates and 2 new recruits are coming here. Get her here immediately. Why yes, Captain Smoker, the Marine said before running off. Smoker leaned his head back as his cigars burned smoke into the air. That clumsy woman, he muttered, she's a disgrace to the Marines. Last time we saw Zoro meeting a new nakama, Arrow. While this was happening, we see Sanji and Usopp at the market, where Sanji is admiring a nice elephant tuna. Buying the whole fish, he spotted Usopp buying really cheap eggs. Oi, Usopp! Help me carry this, Sanji called out, grabbing onto Usopp after the sniper bought his eggs. Ah, Sanji? Usopp tilted his head in confusion until the tail end of the tuna landed onto him. Ack. Come on, Sanji said. Help me carry this. Alright, Usopp groaned. Why such a big fish, Sanji? Well, we're going to have a bigger cruise soon, Sanji explained, and if Luffy's brothers are anything like him, then there are going to be huge appetites. Good point, Usopp muttered. So, what are the eggs for? Oh, I'm using them as my awesome new ammo, Sanji's sweat dropped. Usopp, I don't think eggs will oof. Sanji was stopped short when a small figure crashed into him. The small figure fell down, dropping some bags that she was carrying. I'm sorry, are you alright? Sanji let go of the fish, ignoring Usopp's cry for help. Why yeah, I'm fine, the girl muttered, lifting her head. Sanji blinked when he noticed that her right eye was covered with a bandage. The little girl looked about 11 years old. She had white hair that had a small side ponytail tied with a red bow and her visible eye was red, contrasting with her pale rose skin. Her shoulders were bare while a black sash was wrapped around her shoulders. She had a red kimono-like dress where the sleeves covered her hands and was held together by a white obi. She had white leggings and black slippers. What Sanji found strange was that she had a gun by her right hip. Sorry for bumping into you. No, Sanji lightly argued. I wasn't looking where I was going. The little girl smiled a bit before looking at the bags she dropped. Maybe I shouldn't have taken this many bags to carry, she muttered, beginning to pick up the bags with Sanji's help. Sanji, help me here, Usopp begged, struggling with the tuna. Shut up, Sanji shouted. There's a little girl who needs help. The girl fidgeted a little. You really don't have. Luna, a voice called out, catching the three's attention. Running towards them was a man about 18 years old with brunette hair and dark green eyes. He had a cowlick on top of his head that twitched now and then. Is that thing alive? Sanji and Usopp thought. The man wore a green shirt that had sleeves that stopped at his elbows, blue jeans, and brown boots. A locket was around his neck and a whip hanging by his left. Luna, geez, he said. You really scared me when you disappeared like that. Sorry, Oscar, the girl, now dubbed Luna, pouted. Oscar sighed, seeing Sanji and Usopp. Oh, sorry for the trouble, Oscar nervously laughed, taking the bags that Sanji had picked up from Luna. We were shopping for stuff until we got separated. It's all right, Sanji said, standing and finally helping Usopp carry the fish. I was just helping a little damsel in distress. Luna blushed, covering her face with his sleeves and stuttering. Well, thank you, Oscar said before looking at Luna. Come on, Luna. We gotta go meet Sabou, Ace, and the others. Okay, Luna replied, following Oscar. As the two walked off, Usopp was giving a small glare at Sanji. Okay, I get that you like helping females, Usopp started, but warned me next time. Whatever, Sanji stopped when he realized something. Sanji, didn't that Oscar guy say something about Ace and Sabou, Luffy's brothers? Sanji asked. Usopp blinked. Now that you mention it, the two looked at the retreating forms before running towards them and calling out to them. One Piece. Nami carried a pile of clothes to the counter. I'll buy these, she smiled. When the lady asked if Nami had money, Nami pouted, telling the cashier that she did. Suddenly, she felt a change in the air. Air pressure's dropping. There might be a storm soon. Excuse me, can I have those in vinyl bags? What for? The cashier asked, but she did what Nami asked for. Nami took the bags, thanking the woman as she left the store. As she walked, she didn't notice that she had dropped one of her bags of clothing. Luckily, someone did. "Excuse me, miss," a voice called to Nami. Nami turned her head to see a woman holding her bag. "You dropped this." The woman had black hair and brown eyes. She had a pink headband that had a tiny top hat on it. She had a pink vest on that was buttoned from below her breast down over a white collared dress. She had black pantyhose and pink slippers. "Oh, thank you," Nami said, but then she noticed how full her arms were. Do you want me to help you out?" the woman asked. "That would be nice," Nami said sheepishly. The woman took some bags from Nami and walked with her. "I'm Mika, by the way," the woman introduced herself. Nami, the orange hair girl, replied. "Such a lovely name, Mika cooed." One Piece. Luffy stood on the execution platform, awing at the view that the former Pirate King saw. "Whoa," he exclaimed. "So this is what the Pirate King saw. You there, get down from there." Luffy looked down to see an officer trying to get him down. "What? Why?" Luffy argued. "Because that execution platform belongs to the world government," the officer said. "So get down, IMM." The officer didn't get to finish when a spiked club hit him from the side. A woman stood, stating that she was looking for Luffy. Luffy, though having no clue who the woman was, didn't seem to fall for the woman's beauty while everyone around her did. Then more officers came to arrest the woman, though they were struggling a lot. Suddenly, a bomb went off, causing a fragment of a fountain to fly at the woman, but it slipped off her, causing her no damage. Just then, a hooded figure came by the woman's side. The two then revealed themselves as Buggy the Pirate and Lady Alvida. The crowd went into panic at the sight of Buggy. Just then, Luffy was mounted to the execution platform by Kabaji. Buggy grinned widely, yelling out that he will execute Luffy. Who will save Luffy from this? One Piece. Meanwhile, Smoker was staring at the two new recruits before him. Both were male, standing tall and proud. One had red hair and eyes. His attire consisted of a marine hat turned backwards on his head, a light blue collared jacket with a marine insignia on the left and the sleeve rolled up to his shoulder, a white shirt underneath, black jeans, and dark blue shoes. Strapped behind his back was a sword with a red sheath. The other had gray hair and eyes. He wore a black choker on his neck, a white zipped-up, collared jacket with the marine insignia on the right while that side of the jacket was longer than the other, a belt that held a gun on his left hip, and blue pants that were tucked into black boots. Smoker looked at the two with satisfaction. "At ease, the both of you," he grunted, but the two still attained their stance, showing their dedication, state rank, designation, and skill. Chief Petty Officer Charleston Avery aka Fire Knight, sir, the red-haired one stated. "I excel in the art of the swordsman, sir." Smoker nodded in approval. Chief Petty Officer James Salvador aka Imitator, the gray-haired one declared. "I am skillful with a gun and have the powers of the Echo fruit, sir." Smoker raised an eyebrow. Echo fruit?" Smoker asked. "What does that do?" "What does that do?" Salvador repeated in Smoker's voice, surprising the man. "I can imitate others' voices, create sonic waves, and use echolocation." "Handy move," Smoker said. "Seeing how you're here, your first assignment is to come with me. There has been a pirate sighting." "Yes, sir." The two saluted. "Captain Smoker, sir." Smoker looked to see Tashigi running towards them. "You're late," he muttered. "I'm sorry, sir," she said, taking her jacket from one of the Marines there. "I got caught into something at the arms shop." She saw Avery and Salvador. "Are these the new recruits?" "Yes," Smoker replied. "Learn from them, symbol of the Marines." "You on the other hand." He gave a glare. "You need more discipline." "Eek. Sorry, sir," Tashigi stuttered. "Even if we are more disciplined we will respect our higher-ups with the utmost respect," Avery stated. Tashigi blushed at the statement, feeling a little better after being yelled at. "Whatever, right now we need to do something," Smoker said. "Tashigi, these are Avery and Salvador." The two saluted, making Tashigi giggle. "Come on. Pirates are making a ruckus at the town square." "Yes, sir," the three replied following the captain. One Piece. Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji looked at each other when they somehow managed to cross each other at the same spot. Found one of our new crewmates, Zoro said, pointing at Arrow who was next to him. So did we, Sanji replied, nodding his head towards Luna and Oscar. How convenient, Mika giggled, making Sanji swoon. I wonder if Devin-kun found someone also. No, Devin said he would stay with Ace and Sabo just in case, Oscar pointed. Ah, he's missing out, Arrow pouted. The Straw Hat crew looked at each other. So, has anyone seen Luffy? Zoro asked. Didn't say he was checking out the execution platform? Usopp pointed out. So, it should be here, Sanji said. They all turned and their eyes bulged out. One Piece. Captain Smoker, Master Chief Petty Officer Tashigi, one of the soldiers called out. Status report, Smoker asked. The pirates have rounded up civilians. There are 3 pirates there. Club-wielding Alvida, Buggy the Clown, and Straw Hat Luffy. Straw Hat Luffy? Smoker raised an eyebrow. Never heard of him. Sir, Salvador called to the captain. Here. He passed him Luffy's wanted poster. 30 million belly, Smoker said, surprised. He must be a tough one. One Piece. Luffy. The Straw Hat crew yelled. What's he doing on the execution platform? While that was happening, 2 certain brothers and another male were standing outside of a hotel. Where the hell are they? Ace asked, scratching the back of his head. They said they'd be here soon. I'm not sure, Sabo replied. I'm sure they got caught up on something, said the man next to Ace. The man looked about 21 with orange hair and blue eyes. On his face were 4 black tiger lines, 2 on each cheek. He wore a white shirt over an orange jacket, fingerless gloves, indigo pants, and orange shoes. Upon his right ear was a shark tooth earring. On his right shoulder was a baby Den Mushi. I'm sure at least one of them will call. I hope you're right, Devin, Ace said to his first mate. My gut is telling me something's wrong. Puru the baby Den Mushi began to ring on Devin's shoulder, alerting the 3 men. Devin took hold of the Den Mushi. Hello, he said. Devin-kun, Mika, what's wrong? Devin asked his crewmate. Please tell me the captains are with you, she said in a worried voice. We're here, Mika, Sabo said. Is something up? It's really urgent. We're with your brother's crew right now, she said. Luffy's here, Ace and Sabo asked. Yes, but you need to listen to me. Your brother is on the execution platform. One Piece. We all can't go in and save him, Oscar said. I was thinking the same thing, Nami said, sweating nervously. What's worse, there will be a storm soon. We need to get to the ships. All right, I told Ace, Sabo, and Devin of the situation, Mika said. Ace said that they're on their way and Oscar and I should go get our ships. Usopp and I will do the same, Nami said. What about her? Sanji asked, pointing at Luna. I can take care of myself, she said. I will help with the rescue. But we don't have time to talk about this. Zoro yelled. We gotta get Luffy. Fine, but if the little girl gets hurt, I'm blaming you, Sanji shouted back. Let's go, Arrow said. The 2 groups ran to the directions of their destinations. One Piece. What? Stop joking, Luffy shouted, shocked. Your execution will be flashily displayed to the public, Buggy yelled while Luffy was yelling, no. One Piece. What should we do, sir? One of the soldiers asked. We'll wait for now, Smoker said. At the moment, it looks like the clown is in some sort of quarrel with Straw Hat. Let them get rid of one problem for us. Yes, sir, we'll attack as soon as Straw Hat's head is cut off of him. One Piece. I'm sorry, please let me go, Luffy said in a drone-like voice. Why would I let you go? Buggy screamed at him. Has the man I admired finally met his end? Alvida asked herself. Any last words, brat? Buggy asked Luffy. Luffy was silent for a moment before yelling. I am the man WHO will be king of the pirates, Luffy screamed to the high heavens. The crowd was surprised by Luffy's high standard, silently praising him in his endeavor. Well, it looks like you'll die knowing you didn't achieve your dream, Buggy said. Stop, 4 voices yelled out. The crowd turned, seeing 4 figures. There stood at the entrance of the town square were Arrow, Zoro, Sanji, and Luna. Buggy was shocked. He didn't think that the rubber boy would get so many new crewmates in such a short amount of time. This execution is over, Zoro yelled. Zoro, Sanji, Luffy shouted, happy to see his friends. Wait, who are the other two? Buggy asked. I don't know, Luffy responded. Well, it doesn't matter right now, Buggy said. They're too late. He held the sword up high. That was when the rescue group rushed in. We gotta bring down the platform, Zoro said. Right. The other three agreed. Individually, they attacked with their fighting styles. Zoro took out his 3 swords, slicing at the buggy pirates. Sanji, with his legs, kicked away his obstacles. Arrow, for some reason he's now shirtless, showing the 2 sparrow wing tattoos on his back, had unsheathed his purple blade, taking down the opponents. Luna had taken out her gun from her holster, surprising her opposers with her deadly accuracy. Though with their combined skills, there were too many in numbers to get to the platform. Ha 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 ha. Buggy laughed menacingly. Not even the great pirate hunter can help you now. Bastard, Sanji yelled, kicking away more of Buggy's crew. Shit, Arrow said, seeing such numbers. I gotta take down the platform, they all thought. Arrow was crowded by so many opponents, he didn't notice the pirate behind him until it was almost too late. Almost. Kaisoku. Harakudashigeri, a voice yelled. Suddenly, a fist came forward, punching the pirate square in the jaw, saving Arrow from getting hurt. Devin now stood back to back with Arrow. Sorry I took so long. No problem, you came at the right time, Arrow said, smirking. Luna noticed Devin. Devin, she shouted, relieved to see him, but she didn't notice the man behind her with a club about to hit her. Then out of nowhere, a metal pole smashed into the man. No hitting my first mate, Sabo said with a smirk. Sabo? Luna shouted in surprise. So that's Sabo, huh? Sanji asked. Hotarubi. Little floating glowing green balls stuck themselves close to some of the buggy pirates. Hitaruma. The little balls flew forward, burning them. Ace walked forward, passing few of the burning pirates, looking cool and badass. He looked up and glared at Buggy. Hey Buggy, he exclaimed. Sabo and I have a bone to pick with you. One Piece. Sir, it's Roronoa Zoro. Tashigi shouted. She took a pair of binoculars and looked down at the town square. That man? What is he doing here? Smoker growled. There have been reports of him being part of the Straw Hat crew. Huh? Salvador and Avery decided to look down at the scene. Both stood frozen. Salvador stared at the little girl while Avery glared at Arrow. El Luna? Salvador shouted, confused. Sparrow Arrow, Avery growled. You know those two? Smoker asked. I have a bone to pick with that stupid bird, Avery answered. Luna, Salvador shakily said. I thought she was gone forever, my baby cousin. Sir, more pirates have entered the plaza, one soldier reported. What? Who is it this time? Smoker demanded. It's One Piece. It's Fire Fist Ace and Blue Gentleman Sabo, one of the buggy pirates shouted. You have a bone to pick with me? Buggy screamed, fear in his voice. Why? Ace, Sabo. Luffy cried out. Wait, you know these two? You alright, Lou? Sabo asked. Other than an itchy nose, yes, Luffy answered, forgetting about the situation he was in. Goddammit, why does trouble always follow you around? Ace shouted. How do you know each other? Buggy shouted, wanting answers. Oh, you don't know? Ace asked. He and Sabo gave a deadly glare at Buggy. That's our little brother, they both yelled at the same time. Everyone, with the exception of Zoro, Sanji, Luna, Arrow, and Devin, dropped their jaws to the ground. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but your brother's time is up, Buggy yelled, lifting his sword again. The fight began again, this time with Devin using fishman karate, Sabo using his metal pole, and Ace using hand-to-hand combat. Ace didn't want to risk accidentally hurting Luffy with his devil fruit powers if he tried to hit Buggy. The fight took too long though, and Buggy began to swing the sword down. Ace, Sabo, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Nami, Luffy called out, gaining his rescue team's attention. Sorry, he lifted his head, showing his trademark grin. I'm dead. Luffy, Ace shouted, shocked. No, Sabo yelled. Idiot, Zoro exclaimed. Don't say that, said Sanji. What? Devin said. Don't, Arrow yelled. Luna cried out. He smiled, Smoker said, utterly shocked. But just as soon the blade was close to Luffy's neck, lightning crashed down onto the platform. Blue flames sprouted from the bottom up, engulfing the platform with fiery flare. Everyone stood shocked as it fell down. Then, for some reason, it started raining, making the fire die down. A straw hat had feet. A hand grabbed the hat, and was placed on a head which looked up with a familiar grin. Ha ha ha. Luffy laughed, barely scathed unlike Buggy, who is burnt to a crisp. I'm still alive, that's nice. Everyone was still in shock. Zoro slowly took Watto out of his mouth and Sanji's cigarette fell out of his mouth. Arrow, somehow his shirt and jacket are now back on, fell back onto his butt. Devin and Luna just stood and stared. Man, that was close, Luffy chuckled when he walked over to the group. You idiot, Ace and Sabou yelled, both hitting Luffy on his head and surprising their crewmates. Ace, Sabou, Luffy shouted in happiness, unaffected by the hits. Don't scare us like that, Lu, Ace shouted. What the hell were you thinking? I just wanted to see what the Pirate King saw before he died, Luffy explained. Ace face palmed. Leave it to Luffy and his logic. You really worried us, Luffy, Sabou scowled before sighing. Please try not to do something like that again. Luffy laughed, promising no such thing. Sabou's sweat dropped, giving a small smile. Meanwhile, Smoker was silent, thinking about what he just saw. Attack! Surround all the pirates, Smoker commanded. All the Marines rushed at the pirates. Shit, we gotta go now, Devin shouted. Right, Ace agreed. Come on, guys. We got to get to the ships or else we won't be able to get to the Grand Line. What? That's no good, Luffy exclaimed. Let's go, Sabou shouted through the commotion. The group. Devin put Arrow in a fireman carry and Sabou bridle carried Luna, ran off, taking out some Marine soldiers on the way. Smoker was thinking heavily on why Luffy was smiling. The boy knew he was going to die. Captain, we have to go after them, Avery shouted, seeing the group run off. Avery, tell me, have you ever seen a pirate smile on the execution platform? Smoker slowly asked. Avery blinked. Well, a few pirates have smiled, but they usually ended up paling in fear upon death, Avery answered. But from what I have heard, the former Pirate King smiled when he died, right? Correct, Smoker replied. That boy smiled. He knew he was going to die and prepared himself. And the winds are blowing west. A tailwind to get to the Grand Line. Why? It's as if heaven has plans for this boy and his crew. He sighed. Squad 1 should have already taken down their ships. Sir, a Marine shoulder called out. I just got a report saying that the squadron can't light their gunpowder due to the rain pour. What? Smoker growled. Captain Smoker, we can't let them get away, Tashigi said with a determined voice. Salvador bit his lip, thinking about who he saw, wondering if she was real or not. I swear, upon my word as Marine Captain, I will not let them escape. Last time, Luffy had just escaped death from unexpected events. Now he, his brothers, and crewmates are now running to get to their ships as quick as possible. But before we see how they're doing. A cloaked figure walked through the empty streets as the rain poured down vigorously. Inherited will, dreams, and destiny. These things cannot be stopped. As long people seek for freedom, these will live on. A pirate, huh? The cloaked man chuckled. Lightning flashed, partially showing his tattooed face. That's fine, too. One Piece. That brat has the luck of the devil, Buggy shouted, getting up despite being burnt. Captain Buggy, you're still alive, Kabaji shouted in surprise. Of course I'm alive, Buggy yelled. We're surrounded by Marines and Straw Hat and the others are gone, Alvida explained. Well, too bad for them cause their ship is not burnt to ashes, Buggy laughed. What about his brother's ships? Alvida asked. Men, let's go beat that rubber brat and his crew before he goes with his brothers, Buggy ordered. With that, Buggy turned himself into a strange go-kart thingy while Alvida jumped onto a slide, using her feet to skate off. White out. Suddenly, white smoke captured all of the Buggy pirates and Alvida. I don't have time to deal with you runts, a gruff voice grunted. Smoker. Someone get me my bike, James, Charleston, the both of you are coming with me. One Piece. Usopp, Nami, Oscar, and Miko were running together to get to the Going Merry. When they got there, Moji and his lion, Richie, were trying to light a match. "Who the hell is that?" Oscar asked. "It's Moji, he's part of Buggy's crew," Nami shouted. "I got it," Usopp shouted, taking out his slingshot and an egg. He shot an egg and his Moji right in the face. "Woo. The lion is still there, you idiot," Nami, Mika, and Oscar yelled. Oh, right. Usopp shot another egg, but missed. "Ah, the water made me slip." "Yeah right," the other three thought. Though the egg was able to distract Richie and let Nami and Usopp get to their ship. "We're going to our ships. We'll meet with you later," Oscar yelled to them before he and Mika ran off to their ships. One Piece. Now we go to the others. Arrow and Luna are now running, who are trying to get to the docks as the rain harshly went by. "Man, your guy's navigator was right about that storm," Zoro, Arrow shouted through the wind. "Your navigator predicted this? Nice choice of crew, Luffy," Sabo commented. Luffy giggled. "Only the best for our crew," Luffy exclaimed. "Roronoa Zoro," a voice shouted. The group looked to see Tashigi on the road ahead. "I should have known it was you. And you're a pirate, too. You lied to me." "I didn't lie if you didn't ask who I was," Zoro said. "I'm taking it from you, the Wado Ichimonji. Give it to me," she shouted, taking out her sword. "You can try," Zoro smirked, deciding to battle her. "Hey, Arrow, do me a favor and take care of the other soldiers just in case they try to do something stupid." "Got it," Arrow grinned, taking out his own sword. "You guys go ahead." Alright. The three captain agreed with Luffy stopping Sanji from trying to maul Zoro. As they left the two swordsmen, Zoro and Tashigi fought one-on-one until it finally reached to a conclusion when Zoro knocked her sword out of her hand and had pinned her against a stone support. "Sorry, but I can't let you take this sword from me. Not now, not ever," Zoro said. He sheathed his swords. "We'll be going now." "Why didn't you cut me?" Tashigi asked. "Is it because I'm a woman?" Zoro stopped short, remembering something that Kuina had told him. He slowly turned his head at her. "You went easy on me because I'm girl, didn't you?" she shouted. "Then again, I wouldn't expect you to understand such a thing. But no, I didn't pick up a sword for fun." "Shut up," Zoro yelled. "It's your existence that bothers me, not your gender." "Wah, your face looks exactly like my late friend's, and now you're spouting things that she said before. Stop copying her, you rip off," Zoro snarled. "What? I'm only being myself. Wouldn't she be the one copying me?" Tashigi argued. "What was that?" Zoro, Arrow's sweat dropped as he and marine soldiers watched the two argue like children. One Piece. "We should be close to the docks soon," Devin said. "That's great," Ace replied. "Let's just hope no one gets in our way." "Hey, there's someone up ahead," Luna said. Ace face palmed, seeing that he just jinxed it. "Hey, who are you?" Luffy asked. "So you've come, Straw Hat." "I'm Captain Smoker of the Marine Headquarters," Smoker said, before shooting smoke at Luffy, who dodged in the nick of time. "And I won't allow you to leave this island." "Whoa!" Luffy yelped. Lu, Ace and Sabo shouted. "Devin, Sanji, Luna, you guys go," Sabo told them. Devin and Sanji nodded before running off, but Luna stayed frozen where she was. "Luna! Fire Fist Ace and Blue Gentleman Sabo!" A voice yelled out. Sabo and Ace looked and saw Avery and Salvador. Avery, holding the hilt of his sword, and Salvador pointing a gun. "You two are under arrest," Avery said. "PFT, as if you can arrest us," Ace argued. Sabo noticed that Luna had scooted closer to him and gripped his coat. "Luna?" Sabo asked. "Luna?" Sabo snapped his head up, seeing Salvador looking intently at Luna. "Luna, it's me, Salvador. Your cousin." Sabo's eyes widened. "What? Where's Arrow?" Avery shouted. "I want to talk with that stupid bird." "What do you want with my Nakama?" Ace asked, being defensive. "So you're his captain? I have an old score to settle with that fucker." "Over my dead body. That can be arranged." Avery took out his sword and charged at Ace. "Sabo, my pole." Sabo snapped out of his thoughts, and threw a pole towards Ace, who caught it and blocked Avery's attack. "A pole?" Avery said, shocked. "Hey, don't underestimate our weapons, dumbass," Ace shouted, whacking Avery and proceeding with their battle. Meanwhile, Sabo was making sure Luna was away from Salvador. Just let me talk to her, Salvador shouted. She doesn't want to talk to you. Goddammit, Sabou shouted back. Luna, go get yourself away from here. Okay, she said quietly before running off. Wait, Luna, Salvador shouted. He was about to run after her, but was stopped when Sabou came right in front of him and punched him. Stay away from my first mate, Sabou yelled. The three captains battled separately. Ace was battling Avery, skillfully blocking the sword with his metal pole. Sabou was dodging bullets from Salvador's gun. Luffy was having a difficult time trying to beat Smoker due to the captain's devil fruit ability. He couldn't get a hit on Smoker at all. It wasn't until Smoker finally had his hands on Luffy. Ah! Luffy yelped in shock as Smoker slammed Luffy down. Luffy, Ace shouted, before he was pinned down by Avery with a sword to his neck. Shit! Sabou exclaimed as a bullet grazed him. Then an ear-piercing scream reached his ears, causing him to fall back and cover his ears. When it stopped, he looked up to see that Salvador pointed his gun at him. HMPH, is this the power of 3 pirates with bounties over 30 million? Smoker scoffed. Pathetic, he reached behind himself, grabbing his saber. No, Ace shouted. Damn this rain, I can't use my fire. Suddenly, lightning flashed and a hand also grabbed the handle of Smoker's saber, stopping Smoker from taking it out. Smoker looked behind him and his eyes widened. It's you? What the hell? Salvador and Avery exclaimed when they saw the cloaked figure. It's you, Sabou gasped. Wait, you know him? Ace asked. What's going on? Luffy asked despite his face being full of pavement. How nice. Now the government can have your head, Smoker said slowly. The man just smirked. Lightning flashed once more, partially showing his face and the tribal-like tattoo on the left side of his face. The world is still waiting for our answer, he rasped out. Suddenly, the rain stopped and a huge gust of wind passed through, blowing ATY, scattering things here and there. When it stopped, the fight that was previously before us was gone, in fact. Whoa, what the hell was that? Luffy shouted, getting out from a pile of rubble. Ace and Sabou groaned as they sat up. What was that huge gust just now? And the rain is gone, Devin asked, emerging from the ground. There was a small silence. The Fore screamed in surprise. But you ran off with Sanji. Luffy exclaimed. I'm over here, Sanji groaned, sitting up and rubbing his head. Goo, what in the world just happened? Zoro grunted, standing from his spot and helping Arrow up. Wait, so if you guys are here, then, Sabou paused. Help! Luna's voice squeaked out from a pile of rubble. Luna, Sabou, Devin, and Arrow panicked, running over to get Luna over of the mess. After pulling the girl out, Sabou picked her up with her wrapping her arms around his neck and burying her face in his shoulder. Whatever that was, Sanji began, it saved our asses from whatever deep shit we were in. Luffy. The group looked to see the Going Merry with Usopp and Nami calling to them. The ship is leaving without us, Zoro yelled. We better catch up to them, Zoro said. Right, they all said. The 7 ran towards the direction of the weight. 7. They turned to see Luffy stretching his arms. Ace and Sabou widened their eyes. Wait, Luffy, Ace started, but it was too late as Luffy shot himself at them. Grabbing onto the 7, he launched himself and them to the Going Merry. Though they got to the sheep-headed ship safely, Ace and Sabou had hit Luffy on the head again for his stupid move. Has anyone seen Oscar and Mika? Sabou asked. Guys, over here, close to the Going Merry, Oscar and Mika were steering the 2 other ships towards them. Thank goodness, you both are okay, Devin sighed in relief. One Piece. Damn it, Smoker cursed as he reached the docks. He saw the 3 ships sail away. Why did you help them? He turned to see the same cloaked man on the roof, his arms spread out. Dragon. What reason is there for you to stop them from their destiny? Dragon grinned. And just like that, he disappeared. Smoker growled. We're sorry, sir, one soldier said. Due to the gust of wind, we were unable to capture. Prepare our ship. We will continue our pursuit of Straw Hat, Fire Fist, and Blue Gentleman, Smoker ordered. Sir, I'm coming, too, Tashigi demanded. I cannot forgive Roronoa, I will bring him down with my hands. Let's us come, too, sir, Avery exclaimed. I must get back at Arrow. I must get my cousin back, Salvador said, his eyes determined. Fine, but you better not be dead weight, Smoker grunted as the three saluted. But sir, you are stationed here, how will you explain to the higher-ups that you? Tell them this, Smoker growled. Don't order me around. One Piece. Whoa, the ship feels like it's going to capsize, Luffy laughed. When Oscar and Mika came close to them, they threw ropes to them so that the others could keep the three ships close together. Look! Nami shouted, pointing at a lighthouse. That lighthouse means we're close to the Grand Line. Hey, looks like we all fulfilled our promise, Ace chuckled to his brothers who laughed with him. How about we do something to commemorate this moment? Sanji asked, taking out 3 barrels. What do you have in mind? Oscar asked, wondering about the barrels. Sanji smirked and put his foot on the barrel. I'm going to Grand Line to find the All Blue, Sanji said, earning everyone's smile. To become the world's greatest swordsman, Zoro said. To create a map of the world, Nami followed, to be a brave warrior of the sea, Usopp. To find the legendary rainbow crystal, Oscar. To find my brother and stop slavery, Luna. To be the greatest human to use fishman karate and stop discrimination, Devin. To stop dictatorship everywhere, Mika. To find my father's sword and legacy, Arrow. The 3 brothers smirked before saying their dreams. To be pirate kings. The 3 shouted. To the Grand Line, Luffy yelled before they all smashed the barrels. Do you see anyone? Ace called out to his first mate, who stood at the crow's nest of his ship. Devin looked through the telescope before putting it down. No, I don't see anybody at all, Devin called back. We should be safe by now. Sweet. You hear that, guys? We hear you loud and clear, Ace, Sabo called out from Luffy's ship. He turned to Luffy. Hey, Luffy, Ace and I want to talk you privately for a bit. Okay, Luffy agreed, following Sabo and Ace to Ace's ship. You guys wait for us, Ace told the others. And try to get to know each other. We're going to take a while. With that, the door closed, leaving their crews to mingle on their own. They all looked at each other, sitting in an awkward silence. Just then, Devin cleared his throat to gain everyone's attention. So, who wants to start the introductions? He asked. No one said anything. Okay, I will then. He cleared his throat again. I'm Fisher Devin, also known as Tiger Shark Devin. I am Ace's first mate. The ship that the captains went to is ours, and we called it the Red Wolf. Actually, I met Ace the same day we got this ship. I can use fishman karate. That's so, Zoro hummed. Well, seeing as your first mate also, I'll go next. Name's Roronoa Zoro. Formerly, I was a pirate hunter until I met Luffy. We met on this one island where I was a prisoner in the Marine HQ. And the ship we're on now, is the Going Merry. As you can see from my 3 swords, I use the 3-sword style. You were a prisoner? Sanji laughed. Shut it, pervert cook, Zoro warned. What was that? Nami coughed as the 2 men argued before looking at Oscar. I'm guessing you're Sabo's first mate? She asked. Actually, she is, he corrected, pointing at Luna. Those of the Straw Hat crew dropped open their mouths. How old are you? Usopp asked. I'm 11, Luna replied, causing their mouths to drop open again. Don't worry, we reacted the same way when she told us, Arrow muttered to them. Anyway, I'm Varkez Luna, Luna began. I don't have a bounty yet, but I hope to have one soon. I met Sabo while running away from slave owners. Slave owners? They all shouted, with the exception of Oscar. I don't like talking about it, she slowly said. Anyway, our ship is known as the Sonic Dolphin. I am skillful with a gun. Well, I'll go next, Nami decided. I'm Nami. I first met Luffy when he helped me out with the Buggy Pirates, but I officially joined them when they helped me save my village from Arlong, the captain of the Fishman Pirates. I'm basically their navigator. Me next, Arrow shouted excitedly. I'm Kingston Arrow. Ace helped me when I was stuck in this situation I had with the Marines. Please don't ask what it was, just don't. Like Zoro, I'm a swordsman, but I only use 1 blade instead of 3. Well, I'm Samuel J. Oscar, Oscar introduced. Sabo and Luna met me when I saved them from a booby trap in these ancient ruins. Man, that was a good time. You got poisoned, didn't you? Luna asked. Yes, I did, Oscar said. Besides being an adventurer, I can cook decent food. What? I do it to survive. I am the great pirate Usopp was interrupted by Sanji's kick. No lying, Sanji warned. Usopp mumbled as he rubbed the back of his head. Geez. Well, I'm Usopp. Luffy and I met in Syrup Village, where he saved it from Captain Kuro of the Black Cat Pirates. I guess you can say I'm their sniper. Name's Sanji, Sanji began. Luffy kinda crashed into the restaurant I worked in and had to be the chore boy for some time. Then the Don Krieg and his goons tried to take the place. He would have if Luffy didn't save our asses. I am also a cook. Ahem. Mika coughed a little. I'm Akira Mika, but you may call me Mika. Ace-kun has helped me when a tyrant had taken over my homeland. She scoffed. The nerve of that man, trying to make me his wife. Sanji exclaimed. Also, I had eaten the card fruit when I was a child. I am a card woman, she explained as she took out a few cards out of nowhere. Now that we got introductions out of the way, who's hungry? Oscar asked. When that question was asked, almost everyone's stomach growled. Well, it's a good thing I bought that elephant tuna, Sanji chuckled. I better get working in the kitchen. May I help? I might as well get a little more experience in cooking, Oscar asked. Sure thing, Sanji replied as the two went into the kitchen. Hey Zoro, can we fight? Please, Arrow begged like a little child. Zoro chuckled at the man's behavior. Why not? The captains are still in that room and I have nothing better to do, Zoro said. Yay, to the Sonic Dolphin, Arrow exclaimed, taking Zoro by the back of his shirt and dragging off. Oh oi, Zoro yelped out. Nami shook her head at them. Men, Nami scoffed. She looked at Mika. So, what do you want to do? Well, I did get some new clothing when we were still in Log Town. I also got some for Luna, she giggled, looking over at an oblivious Luna who was staring out into the sea. Nami smirked with her. Quickly, they grabbed Luna and dragged her off to dress her up. Devin sighed and decided to go up to the crow's nest and look out for any danger. One Piece. So, how does it look? Sabo asked, holding up a flag-sized fabric. The two Ds looked closer at the fabric before smiling. I like it, Ace grinned. Yosh. This will be our flag, she. Luffy chuckled. Sabo grinned, happy to hear his brother's opinion. Okay, I'll make 2 more and we'll go out to put them up, Sabo told his brothers. They both nodded in approval before Sabo went to work. One Piece. Bam! Everyone had stopped what they were doing when Ace, Sabo, and Luffy opened the door. Each of them held a rolled-up piece of black cloth. Hey guys, Arrow greeted. What were you doing in there? The 3 brothers didn't answer, but instead climbed up to the crow's nest, attaching the rolled-up cloth to the pole under their first flag, confusing through crew. They looked at each other before nodding and unrolling the cloth. Now that it was visible, the crew below was able to take a look. It was a flag with a regular skull on it with a gray triangle behind it, connecting 3 letters. A, S, and L. The 3 captains grinned. As we have told you in some point in our journeys, my brothers and I have made a promise, Sabo began. A promise that we were able to fulfill, Ace followed. And though we are 3 different crews, from now on we are connected by this flag. From this day forward, Luffy grinned. We are the ASL Pirates, the 3 brothers finally finished. Everyone on the deck smiled up at the captains. Now, Luffy breathed deeply, onward to the Grand Line. Yeah, the rest yelled. Nay, Ace, Luffy called out over the storm. Yeah, Luffy? Ace asked when he heard his brother. When did you get a devil fruit? Hey, I was wondering when you would ask that, Ace chuckled. Almost everyone was interested to know. I got it around some time before I met Arrow. Devin and I stopped at this place called Vagabond Island. We decided to stay there for about a day or 2 to rest up. So I went for a walk at the beach there. While I was there, I found a wrecked ship. I decided to look through it and found a treasure chest. I opened it, and there it was, the flame fruit. I didn't really know at first and ate it because I was hungry. Ace sheepishly laughed, causing the others to sweat drop. But I gotta tell you, it really helped us out because later that day, Devin and I got captured by midget cannibals. Stupid little fuckers, Devin grumbled. I still have that bite mark, you know. Really, can I see? Arrow asked. No, you can't. Mainly because there's a child here, Devin pointed out. Wait, you mean, Sanji slowly said, subtly pointing at one spot that was sacred to men. Devon turned red in embarrassment and nodded. Ouch. You have no idea, Devon mumbled. Ace chuckled before looking at Luffy. You know, it's good to know you don't have a fear of fire anymore, Lou, Ace stated. The rest seemed to have frozen at that statement. Yeah, it took a while, but I got over it, Luffy replied. That's good, just as long as you're okay. Sabou joined in. The others, listening to their conversation, wanted to know why Luffy was scared of fire, but decided not to ask. Oh, and Luffy? Would you get off of the figurehead? Sabou shouted. True enough. Luffy was hanging onto the figurehead of the Going Merry. No, it's my seat, Luffy argued. Sabou face palmed. Curse Luffy logic, he groaned inwardly. Hey, guys, Nami called out. I found out something troubling. What is it? Mika asked the redhead navigator. The entrance to the Grand Line, Nami began, is a mountain. A mountain? Arrow and Usopp exclaimed. Trust me. I had a hard time believing it when I was looking at the map. But the lighthouse points directly at Reverse Mountain located on the Red Line. Luckily, there's a waterway to go through, so we don't have to crash into the mountain, Nami explained. That's so cool, Arrow exclaimed, smiling. But there's no way a ship can climb a mountain, Usopp argued. It's what the map says though, Luna pointed out. True, Sanji said. How can Nami's swan ever be wrong? So it's a magic mountain? Ace and Luffy asked, tilting their heads. No, you morons, Nami yelled. Guys, Oscar interjected. Why aren't the ships moving? And why is the weather suddenly calm? Huh? Everyone exclaimed, confused about Oscar's question. They all looked out from the edge. True enough, the Going Merry, Red Wolf, and Sonic Dolphin weren't moving at all and the sky was crystal clear. That can't be, Nami shouted in shock. We were on the way to the Red Line. The only reason we can't be moving is… Nami, Mika asked. We're on the calm belt, Nami screeched. Get the oars and start paddling. We need to get back into the storm. Why? Luffy and Usopp asked. Just do it, Nami yelled at them. If we don't get moving now then. Suddenly, there was a rumbling, causing things to shake and fall. An earthquake? Oscar squeaked. But we're out in the seas, Luna cried, holding on to Sabou. Then they all felt the ships getting lifted up by something huge and monstrous. Everyone gaped at the creature that held up their ships and the other creatures around them. SSSS, Devon stuttered. Sea Kings, everyone screamed in horror. Nami hugged the Going Merry's mast, trembling and crying. This place is a den for Sea Kings, she sobbed. Then all the men jumped to their respective ships and took out oars. As soon as this thing dives, we paddle the hell out of here, Zoro called out. Right. The other men agreed, sweating a lot. But then, the Sea King sneezed loudly, causing the ships to fly off instead. Somehow, the ships have safely managed to get back into the storm. They were all face down on the decks. Is everyone alright? Nami moaned. I think so, Sabou said, slowly sitting up. At least we're back in the storm. Yeah, Nami said. As long as we take this route, we'll be able to go up the waterway due to the strong currents of each of the blues. Know that Reverse Mountain is a winter island, so currents that hit the edge, drop to the bottom of the ocean. So, we could possibly drown to the bottom of the ocean if we failed to enter the waterway? Devon asked. Yes, Nami replied, ignoring Luffy's stupidity. I never heard of a ship climbing a mountain, Zoro stated. I heard a little bit, Sanji smirked. About the mountain? Arrow asked. No, about the Grand Line, Sanji corrected. Apparently, about half of the people die from trying to enter the Grand Line. Entering is no easy task. Arrow squeaked and gulped. Hey, I think I can see the mountain, Oscar shouted, pointing at a huge shadow. It's huge, Usopp screamed. That's the Red Line? I can't even see the top. Get to the rudders and steer it so we don't go down, guys, Ace ordered. Leave it to us, responded Sanji, Usopp, Oscar, Devon, and Arrow. Zoro was looking through a pair of binoculars. I can't believe it, he casually said. The ocean is really going up the mountain. There's the entrance, Luffy yelled out. We're veering off though, turn to the right. Of course the men did their best to turn starboard, but due to their luck, the rudders broke. Almost everyone began to panic as the ships began to sail towards the gateway column. Luffy ran past everyone, his straw hat getting caught by Zoro when it flew off. "Luffy, what are you doing?" Sabou shouted out. Just then, Luffy jumped off the railing. "Gum gum," he breathed. "Balloon." He blew up like a pufferfish and stopped the ships from crashing by using himself as a cushion. The ships bounced back on course. "We're saved," Nami cheered. "Luffy, grab my hand," Zoro yelled out, noticing Luffy far away from the ships. Quickly, Luffy stretched his arm, grabbed onto Zoro, and flew back onto the Going Merry. "We did it," everyone cheered as all the ships moved up the mountain. "I see it. I see the Grand Line," Luffy shouted as soon the 3 ships got to the top. "So this is the greatest sea in the world," Oscar said in awe. "Full speed ahead." "Boo! Did anybody hear that just now?" Sabou noticed. "I don't care," Luffy laughed. "Could be just the wind," Luna suggested. "Boo! What the hell is that?" Devin muttered, squinting his eyes, trying to see through the fog as Usopp looked through his goggle. "Whoa, is that a mountain?" Arrow exclaimed, pointing ahead. "I think that is," Sanji mumbled. "What, but we just passed the Twin Capes," Nami argued. "Boo! Luffy put a hand on his forehead and squinted his eyes, noticing a giant figure in their way. Guys," Ace squeaked. "That's not a mountain." "Boo! A whale?" everyone screamed. True enough, there was a giant whale in front of them. The whale, they noticed, had so many scars upon its snout. "Gah! We can't fight something that big," Arrow panicked. "I can't see its eyes," Sanji clarified. "You're right, maybe it hasn't noticed us yet," Nami said. "We're going to crash if we don't do something," Zoro yelled. "I see an opening." "All the rudders are broken though," Oscar shouted. "Shit! Wait! I have an idea," Luffy yelled out while sweating nervously. He ran inside the ship. "Luffy, what are you doing?" Ace yelled to the youngest brother. Of course, he was still panicking while everyone else tried to get the rudders to work. Boom! Everyone froze as they heard the cannon of the Going Merry go off as a cannonball hit the whale. "Luffy," Sabou growled. "You moron," Ace twitched. I wondered if the ship stopped now," Luffy hummed. It did slow down the ships, but not enough, for Mary's figurehead broke off. Luffy was panicking about his special seat. Everyone froze when they saw the whale's eye. The whale went silent. "And now's our chance to get away. Get the oars," Zoro called out. "Didn't it just feel the cannonball? Or is it just really slow?" Devin shouted as they paddled off. "I don't care right now, we gotta go." "Boo! My ears." Mika groaned, covering her ears from the whale's cry. "Goddamn it, Luffy?" Nami said, seeing Luffy walk on deck. "How dare you," Luffy growled, "destroy my special seat." With that, Luffy threw a punch at the whale's eye. "Luffy! No!" Ace and Sabou screamed. "That idiot!" Luffy's crew yelled with tears in their eyes. "We're doomed," Oscar and Arrow cried, hugging each other. "Come at me, bastard!" Luffy challenged before getting kicked by Usopp, Zoro, and his brothers. "Shut up!" they scolded. Suddenly, the whale opened its mouth, sucking in the 3 ships. Sabou looked to the side and saw Luffy flying off Merry. "Luffy!" Sabou yelped before jumping in after his kid brother. Everything went so fast. The next thing you know, the whale closed its mouth and just floated there as if nothing happened. On top of the whale though, sat a panting Sabou and Luffy. "Damn it," Sabou groaned. "What do we do?" Luffy panted. Everyone got swallowed. Then Luffy got up and angrily punched the whale. "Give me back my brother and friends. Don't you dare dive down. We're about to go on an adventure. Give us back our friends." "Luffy, look what I found," Sabou interrupted. Luffy looked over and saw Sabou opening a hatch. "One Piece." Are we dreaming?" Arrow asked, looking up. "No, I don't think we are," Sanji answered, taking out a cigarette. "Then what the hell is this?" Arrow twitched. Everyone was staring at a tiny-looking island and a strange-looking sky. "It might be an illusion," Luna said, tilting her head a little. Just then, a giant squid popped out in front of them. Nami and Usopp screamed in terror. But the squid was pierced by 3 harpoons, killing it. Everyone looked confusingly as the squid was reeled in. I think I see someone, Mika pointed out. Let's hope it's a person, Devon said, cracking his knuckle. One Piece. How strange, Sabou muttered, looking at the metallic hallway he and Luffy were in. Why was there a door on a whale? Why is there a hallway here? What is all this? Luffy asked, stating several different questions. Now's not the time, Lu. We gotta go find the others, Sabou said, walking down the hallway. Okay. Luffy nodded, following his blonde brother. One Piece. Someone's coming out, Luna said, pointing at the open doors of the little house. An elderly man came out of the doors. A flower? Sanji questioned. Huh? Zoro exclaimed, turning to what Sanji was looking at. Oh wait, it's a person, Sanji corrected himself. Do you think he was fishing or saving us? Oscar asked. The old man stared at them, looking at them as if he was about to say something. But instead, he sat on a lawn chair and opened a newspaper. Say something, Sanji, Devon, and Ace snapped. The old man stayed silent though. If you want to fight, then you have one, Usopp stuttered, we have a cannon. I think that might be a bad idea, Mika's sweat dropped. Listen to the young lady, the old man mumbled. Someone could die. Like who? Devon asked. Me? You? Anyway, hey old geezer, Arrow called out. Who are you? And what is this place? How rude, the old man said. You haven't introduced yourselves at all. Oh, sorry about I'm Crocus, keeper of the lighthouse of the Twin Capes, the old man suddenly said. I'm 71 years old, a Gemini, and blood type AB. Arrow felled over anime style. As to where you are, does this look like a stomach of a mouse to you? So we were really swallowed up by the whale, Usopp gulped. I don't want to be digested, Nami whimpered. Isn't that the exit over there? Luna asked, pointing at a door. Everyone yelled, their eyes popping out in shock. Why does it look like it's floating? Arrow asked, sweat dropping. It's painted, isn't it? Just a simple old pastime, Crocus said, eyes never leaving his paper. Why are you here anyways? Usopp snapped. Let's just go, Zoro said, grabbing Usopp's shoulder. Then the area began to shake tremendously. What the heck? So, Crocus mumbled, looking up, he's doing it again. As the fluids in the stomach swayed, so did the little island. So it's really a ship? Nami exclaimed. So this stuff really is stomach acid? Does that mean the ships will dissolve? Arrow panicked. What's going on, old man? Devon yelled out to Crocus. The whale is bashing his head against the red line, Crocus answered, again. That would explain the scars on his snout, Oscar mumbled. Does that mean he's suffering? Are you killing the whale? Arrow shouted. Now then, what a nasty way of killing. Now's not the time, we gotta get out of here before this stomach acid dissolves us, Ace said. One Piece. What the? Sabou yelped out, trying to hang on as things began to shake around. Aaggghhh, Luffy hollered as he bounced around. Luffy, Sabou shouted before he chased after the rubber man. One Piece. Meanwhile, two mysterious figures enter a doorway that was inside the whale. They both held guns, their faces showing that they were intended on doing something. Remember Miss Wednesday, said the man, we are here to eliminate the old geezer. Then we'll get the whale. I know, Mr. Nine, the woman said. This whale will feed the village. One Piece. Wah! Luffy yelped before smashing into a dead end. He fell into what looked like a sewer of some sort. Huh? Is this a river or something? Luffy questioned. Luffy, Sabou called out before jumping down next to Luffy. Finally, I caught up to you. Hey, Sabou, look at this, Luffy said, pointing at the stomach acid. Sabou looked at it for a moment. How strange. Is this a waterway? He asked. He did get to figure it out as things shook about again, causing him and Luffy to lose balance and slide off. One Piece. Damn it, with that whale moving around, it's hard to get to the exit, Devon grunted, trying to steer the Red Wolf. The old man just jumped into the acid, Usopp called out. What? Sanji shouted, shocked. He's going to get himself dissolved. The ships shook more, almost making them to fall. We have no choice but to row, Ace called out. One Piece. Ready, Miss Wednesday? Mr. Nine asked, on the count of 3. Ready when you are, the blue-haired woman nodded. Wog ghh. The two turned their heads, seeing Luffy and Sabo running down the walkway very, very fast. "Shit, we can't stop," Sabo shouted. "Ah," Luffy exclaimed. Who are they?" Miss Wednesday exclaimed. "I don't know," Mr. Nine hollered. "Aaggggghhhh." All four screamed before colliding, bursting through the door and flying. Everyone on the Red Wolf, Going Merry, and Sonic Dolphin heard the noise and looked up. "The stomach acid is below us, Miss Wednesday," Mr. Nine cried. "No," Miss Wednesday cried also. "Luffy? Sabo?" Ace exclaimed, relieved to see his brothers. "Oh, you guys are okay," Sabo noticed. "In that case, help us," Luffy followed before they fell into the stomach acid. "Hold on, who were those two weirdos that just came out with them?" Arrow wondered, looking over the railing. "Ah, the old man's escaping," Usopp exclaimed. "Shut up and someone give me a rope," Ace shouted. "We need to get my brothers." As they were getting Luffy, Sabo, and the two weird people, they noticed that things have settled down. Placing Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine against the railing, Luffy and Sabo were given towels to dry off. "So, who the heck are they?" Zoro asked, pointing at the two stowaways. "Hell if I know," Sabo replied, shaking his head a little. "Luffy and I crashed into them when we were running down this walkway. I won't let you hurt Laboon for as long as I live." Everyone turned, seeing Crocus standing at the door where Sabo and Luffy the old man. Luffy asked. Suddenly, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine stood, chuckling and holding their bazookas. Foo, but now that we're inside the whale, it will be easy to blow hold through the stomach," Mr. Nine declared before he and Miss Wednesday fired their bazookas, making everyone jump. "Don't interfere with our whaling business," Miss Wednesday shouted. Crocus, desperate to protect the whale, jumped in the way of the ammo and took the blast before falling into the acid. "Ah, he took the attack," Arrow pointed out. "So he's actually protecting the whale?" Nami noticed. "Cease your resistance," Miss Wednesday yelled. "No matter how much you protect this whale, our town will make it as our food," Mr. Nine declared. Luffy walked up behind them and bonked the both of them on the head, knocking them out. "Both of you are annoying," Luffy grumbled. Everyone's sweat dropped. One Piece. Now the three ships were docked next to Crocus's makeshift island, resting there as Crocus explained the situation. "Laboon is an island whale," he began, "the largest whale around. These two," he pointed at the now tied-up duo, "are rouges of a nearby town. Their goal is to hunt Laboon so they could feed from his meat for 2 to 3 years. But I refuse to allow them to do that. As for why Laboon bashes his head on the red line and bellows while facing Reverse Mountain, there is a perfectly good explanation for that. A long time ago, a pirate crew came to the lighthouse. Among them was a baby whale. That baby whale was Laboon. They had tried to leave him behind so he didn't have to face the dangers of the Grand Line, but Laboon followed them anyways. Island whales usually follow their pod, but to Laboon, those pirates were his pod. After their ship was fixed, their captain had asked me to take care of Laboon, promising that they would return after traveling through the Grand Line. Laboon understood their intention and stayed here, waiting. So that's why he does that, Mika whispered. That was 50 years ago, Crocus said. Everyone was shocked. Boo! He still believes they'll come back, One Piece. It surprises me how you were able to make a waterway in here, Mr. Crocus, Sabo said, looking around. They were currently on the way to the exit with Crocus as their guide. Just a hobby for a doctor's mind, Crocus simply said. You're a doctor? Cool, we need a doctor. Luffy smiled as they were approaching. Want to join the crew? No, Crocus shook his head. He climbed up the ladder. I am too old for such adventures now. That's for the youngsters now. So, why do you live inside the whale? Nami asked. Because treating a whale this big would be impossible from the outside, Crocus answered, opening the exit. The ships slipped through the gate and floated into the real ocean. Yosh, we can actually see the sea now, Luffy chuckled. Hey, do you want me to throw off these two? Oscar asked, pointing at Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday. Do whatever, Sabo answered. Okay. Oscar threw them off the ship. The two gasped as they emerged from the water. So who the hell are you two? Luffy asked, leaning from the railing. None of your business, they snapped. Hold it. They may be useful in the future, Miss Wednesday, Mr. Nine pointed. True, Mr. Nine. Our organization may have use of you in the future, so be prepared, Miss Wednesday pointed out. Bye-bye, babe. They hollered as they swan away. Is it a good idea to let them go? Luna asked. Even if we didn't, I'm pretty sure more would replace them, Devin answered the little girl. He looked at Laboon. Poor guy. It's been 50 years. Doesn't he know that they're dead by now? The truth is far more cruel, Crocus said, gaining everyone's attention. They have left the Grand Line. So they just left him? Nami exclaimed. That's horrible, Mika said. I know, Crocus said. Whether they survived or not, they didn't come back here. So they were cowards, Arrow hissed, actually looking serious. How could they? Usopp yelled. He's been waiting for them for 50 years. How can they be so cruel? Luna sniffled, trying to contain the tears in her eyes. Laboon can perfectly understand you, Mika said. Haven't you told him? I have, but he wouldn't listen, Crocus sighed, remembering what happened. Ever since then, he bellowed at Reverse Mountain and bashed his head at the Red Line. He has stubbornly convinced himself that his friends are behind that wall and that they'll return soon. No matter how many times I told him the truth, he refuses to accept the truth. Poor Laboon, Luna sniffed, wiping her tears away as Mika rubbed her back. He's originally from the West Blue, Crocus continued, which at the other side of the Red Line. It's too late for him to return there. So his only hope is the very friends that came with him here. Now that I think about it, Ace started, they betrayed you, too. Why don't you leave him be? Take a look at his scars, Crocus pointed. If he continues to bash his head so recklessly against the wall, he'll die. We had an odd relationship, but he's my companion that I lived with for 50 years. I just can't bring myself to let him die in such a way. Everyone jumped when they heard a loud cry of determination. Huh? Nami said, noticing Luffy running up Laboon's side carrying Mary's mast with him. Oh, it's just Luffy-san, Mika said. What is that idiot doing? Usopp asked. We take our eyes off him for only a second, Zoro murmured. Maybe he just likes climbing things, Sanji suggested. Gum flower arranging. They heard Luffy scream as he pierced Laboon's fresh wound with the mast. What kind of move is that? Oscar's sweat dropped. Isn't that the Going Mary's mast? Ace asked. Yeah, it is, Sabo answered as Laboon began to sweat from the pain. Right at that moment, Sabo and Ace's eyes widened when they realized what Luffy just did. Oh she. Boo! Laboon began to cry in pain, shaking from side to side. Luffy, you dumbass, Ace and Sabo screamed over everyone else's yells. Luffy just held onto the mast until Laboon smashed his snout onto the land next to him. Crocus tried to intervene, but was held back by the others due to the immense danger. Luffy continued his fight with Laboon, making his crewmates confused to what Luffy was doing. The Luffy crashed onto the lighthouse, sliding downward. Then he grinned. Ace and Sabo froze. They knew exactly what Luffy was doing. It's a tie, Luffy yelled out enough for Laboon to hear. Laboon stopped short, confused about what Luffy just said. I'm tougher than I look, you know, but I'm pretty sure you already knew. The others stood silent, listening intently to what Luffy was saying. Our fight has yet to be settled, so we have to fight each other again someday. Even though your friends are already dead, but I'm still here, alive. My brothers, our friends, and I will travel around the Grand Line, Luffy explained. Laboon suddenly started tearing up. Once we do, we'll definitely come back to meet you here. Then we'll duke it out. Everyone smiled at Luffy, who was giving Laboon something to look forward to. So, what do you say, whale? Laboon, though crying, gave out a cry of approval. Luffy grinned, happy to know Laboon accepted the challenge. One Piece. There, Luffy exclaimed, holding a huge paintbrush. He stood with Ace and Sabo. Upon Laboon's snout was a messy version of Luffy's flag. That will be the sign of our promise. You hear that, Laboon? Sabo called out. So you better not bash your head against the wall. Laboon bellowed out in response, good boy. Meanwhile, Sanji and Oscar were preparing lunch with the elephant tuna. Hey, Sanji, Oscar said, do you happen to know how to make sweets or pastries? Yeah, why? Sanji answered, cutting the tuna. I was wondering if you can make something sweet for Luna, Oscar replied. She never had anything sweet before. Eh? How come? I don't believe it's my place to tell. Usopp was working on the mast with Devon helping. He must be one heavy sleeper, Arrow said, poking Zoro's nose, trying to get some type of reaction from his fellow swordsman. You have no idea, Usopp mumbled. Actually, you should see Ace, Devon said. He has narcolepsy. Really? Yeah, it can be such a bitch sometimes, especially with dangerous situations. Ah! A scream that distinctively sounded like Nami rang out. Mika and Luna, who were next to Nami, jumped at the scream. Nami-chan? Mika said, worried. Is everything alright, Nami-swan? Sanji and Oscar asked as they came with the food. Everyone, except for Zoro, came over as soon as the food was set. The compass is broken, Nami shouted, showing the compass. The needle is just spinning, it won't stop. Luna frowned a little. It's not broken, Luna said. Don't you remember that common sense doesn't matter in the Grand Line? It's just the magnetic field. The little girl is right, Crocus joined in. It's due to the many islands being rich with minerals. Everything here is unpredictable. You, as a navigator, should know that. I see, Nami said, distraught. Without any other means of navigating, it's hopeless. Does that mean we have to end our journey here? Arrow pouted. No, Crocus said. Ever heard of a log pose? No, never, Nami answered. It's a special type of compass that records the magnetic fields. A weird-looking compass, right? Luffy asked, before holding up something. Like this one? Yes, that's it. Without it, it would be impossible to navigate this sea. Of course, it's hard to get on outside the Grand Line. Excuse me, but hold on for a second, Nami said, standing up. She punched Luffy. How the hell do you have one? Did you two know? She pointed threateningly at Ace and Sabou, who shook their heads. No. Those two weirdos from before accidentally left it on our ship, Luffy answered, handing it over to Nami. Oh, them? Nami muttered, looking at the log pose. So this a log pose. How come it doesn't have any markings? Each island has its own magnetic field, Crocus explained. So you have to record the magnetic field between any two islands before progressing further. The log pose is the only reliable source of navigating through these waters. From here, you'll choose 1 out of 7 magnetic fields. But no matter what island you go to, they will converge to one island. The island that was discovered only by the Pirate King and his crew, Raftel. You mean that the One Piece is there? Usopp asked, excited. Who knows? It's most likely a theory since Nono has reached it to find out. Well, we can see for ourselves when we get there, Luffy grinned, biting on the fishbone. Where do we go now? I just finished eating and all. That was when they noticed all the food was gone. Ace and Sabou face palmed. Remember Luffy's black hold of a stomach? Sanji twitched, and kicked Luffy, yelling at him that the food was for the girls to enjoy. Nami, who didn't notice, put up the log pose at the wrong time, resulting in it getting broken when Luffy flew by. Nami stared into space for a moment before kicking the two idiots into the sea. Those idiots, Nami groaned, looking at the now broken log pose. Great, what are we going to do now? Oscar asked. Don't worry about it, Crocus said, holding up another log pose. I'll give you mine as thanks for helping Laboon. Really? Thank you so much, Nami squealed, taking the log pose. Near the edge, 4 people came out from the ocean. Beside Luffy and Sanji, there was also Miss Wednesday and Mr. 9. When those two came up, they asked for a favor. You want us to take you to Whiskey Peak? Ace asked. Please, we'll do anything, they both cried. Well, we accidentally broke our log pose, Nami said, holding up the broken one. You still want to come? Wait, isn't that ours? Mr. 9 screeched. How dare you take advantage of our misfortune when you're misfortune yourselves? Miss Wednesday shrieked. Oh wait, Crocus gave us a new one. Nami giggled a little with Mika and Luna giggling also. We beseech your kindness, they bowed, realizing that she was toying with them. I guess they can come if they want to, Luffy said. Well, I guess it's alright, Sabou shrugged. But try anything that goes against us, we'll throw you two overboard, are we clear? Yes sir, they said, though they were inwardly snickering. Well, we must be going then, Mika said, picking up Luna. As soon as they got things prepared, they were on their ships, ready to sail. We'll see you later, Flower Gramps, Luffy said. Are you sure you want to go to Whiskey Peak? They have a bunch of ruffians, Crocus asked. You can choose another route. We'll be fine, Ace grinned. If we're not satisfied, we can just turn around and go a different route. I see. Well, thanks for the log pose, old geezer, Arrow chuckled. Bye, and off they went. We're going whale. Luffy shouted to Laboon. Booah. Don't forget his promise or else I'll burn you to a crisp, Ace lightly threatened. Crocus watched as they left Reverse Mountain. They sure are strange, he muttered to himself. Especially that boy with the straw hat. I think these are the pirates we were looking for. Don't you think so, Roger? Achoo? Luna sneezed. Excuse me. Don't be, Sabo said, putting a coat over Luna. It is snowing quite a lot. Sabo, look. Sabo turned to see that Luffy had built a snowman. The man who fell from the sky, Mr. Snowman. Sabo chuckled at Luffy's childish behavior. It looks nice, Luffy, Sabo grinned. What's a snowman? Luna asked. How about I show you make one? Alright, but should we worry about that? Sabo turned to the Going Merry again to see Luffy and Usopp in some type of fight. A childish one to be exact. Nope, Sabo answered. How can those two play about when it's so cold? Nami muttered to herself from her spot. Just then, Ace jumped onto the ship. He was still wearing his regular clothing. How the hell is he not cold? Hey, Luffy, come here, Ace called out, holding his arms out in a hugging position. Luffy grinned and pounced onto Ace. He giggled as he nuzzled Ace. You're so warm, Luffy laughed. Ace grinned. Just then, lightning flashed, surprising everyone. What the? Ah! Nami screamed. Guys, we have to turn the ships. What? Why? Luffy asked, still hugging a very warm Ace. The ships are turning away from our destination, Nami shouted. You're really underestimating the Grand Line, Mr. Nine muttered. You can't trust what you see here when it comes to the weather, Miss Wednesday said. The only thing you can trust is your log pose. Why don't you two make yourselves useful? Nami nagged, kicking the two out of the cabin. She turned to the others. Come on before we lose the wind. Right. Wake up, Zoro. We have an emergency, Arrow hollered, trying to wake the green-haired swordsman. Things were not easy for them as the climate was randomly changing around them and the ships. They rushed about, trying to get back on course. Though it was very difficult, things were finally calm, but everyone was on the floor, exhausted. Zoro yawned as he stood. What a nice nap, he yawned before noticing how everyone was. Guys, I know things are calm, but you shouldn't be so lazy. You bastard, they all thought. Say, what are these two doing here? Zoro asked, pointing at their two passengers. Oh yeah, you were asleep, Devin mumbled, getting up. They asked us to take them to their town. Why? It's not like we're obligated to do that. We know, Luffy butted in. Zoro turned to Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday again before kneeling to their eye level. There's something sinister about you two, Zoro said, grinning. What are your names again? Miss Wednesday. Mr. N9. There's something really familiar about your names, Zoro commented, making them jump. Where have I heard them before? But before Zoro could remember, Nami came up and hit his head a couple of times before turning to the rest of the crew. I'm really sorry that my navigations didn't work, Nami apologized. It's alright, Nami-chan. Mika comforted. None of us knew about this since we never been to the Grand Line. I guess you're right, Nami agreed. But at least things turned out alright. Look, everyone turned to where she was looking, and saw an island that seemed to have giant cacti. Our journey to the first island is over. Whoa, is that cacti? So, this is Whiskey Peak. Thank God we got here alive. They heard a noise and saw that their two passengers jumping onto the railing. We will now be departing, Mr. Nine said. We just might meet again though, Miss Valentine said. Bye-bye baby. They exclaimed before jumping away. Everyone's sweat dropped. Should we be worried? Arrow asked. No, the rest answered. We should focus on landing. I see a river that we can dock out, Sabo pointed out. Okay. Remember everyone, the log pose has to record the magnetic field before we can go to the next island, Nami reminded them. Seeing how it varies, that would mean we would have to stay for a certain amount of time. So that means if it takes a week then we would have to stay for a week? Usopp exclaimed. That's right, Nami said, crossing her arms. I'll be sure to check mine, too, Ace stated, lifting up his arm, showing his own log pose. Oh, that's good to have some extra eyes, Nami smiled. Silence, almost everyone screamed. Nami bonked Ace in the head, leaving a very big bump there. You had a log pose, and you didn't bother to tell us when we were with Crocus? Nami screeched. I forgot, Ace replied, muffled by the wood of the deck. He sat up. Look at it this way. If yours breaks, I can just give you mine. I guess, Nami muttered. Let's just go already, Luffy smiled. Okay, but be ready in case there will be a fight, Ace called out. As they edged closer to the island, they heard cheers and wails. Confused, they looked to the shore. To their surprise, they saw people welcoming them to their island. What the heck? Sabo and Ace muttered as Sanji and Usopp were relishing the attention from the beautiful girls in Sanji's case. Something was just not right. When they got to the shore and got off their ships, they were greeted by a man with strange curls. Ma, welcome to Whiskey Peak, the man said. My name is Igagram. I know you may be surprised by this welcome, but Whiskey Peak is a town of liquor and music. Hospitality is our middle name. We must ask of you though, Ma, to enthrall us with your tales of adventure. Sure, Sanji, Luffy, and Usopp sang out while the others' sweat dropped. Say, how long does it take for the log pose to record on this island? Nami asked. We like to know so we can see how long we can stay, Ace followed. Now, Igagram Tsked, put aside that thinking for now. Let us prepare a banquet. Yeah, time to party, Luffy shouted, laughing. So the ASL crew began to party with the town like there was no tomorrow. Though, none of them noticed Luna sneaking away because she didn't want any liquor. One Piece. On the other side of town, there was silence, and in a house, two figures sat at a table. And so, we were unsuccessful to kill the whale and bring the town food, Mr. Nine muttered. But to correct our mistake, we have lured pirates to Whiskey Peak. That concludes our report. Yours sincerely, baby. Good, Miss Wednesday smirked. Once we send this to the boss, we should be cleared of our shame. Quick, put it in the unlucky's box. Mr. Nine went and put the rolled-up paper in a mailbox with a Jolly Roger with the word, Baroque, over it. One Piece. After the party, most of the crew was pretty much passed out. Oh, how beautiful the cactus rocks are as they dance again in the moonlight, Igagram muttered. Quite the poet, you are. Igagram looked up to see Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday sitting on the edge of a roof, staring at him, smiling. Am I right, Mr. 8? Miss Wednesday asked. Oh, it's you, Igagram, aka Mr. 8, said nonchalantly. So, what about the pirates? They have fallen deeply, Igagram started, into hell. Those kids really know how to eat and drink, someone groaned as she left the building the ASL crew was in. Miss Monday, Igagram noticed. We should have ambushed them at the docks. Our food supply has shortened because of them. Not to mention the failure of getting that whale meat. Don't talk about us like that, Miss Wednesday snapped. We tried our hardest, Mr. Nine argued. Enough, Igagram interrupted. Unlike you, I have done some research on this crew. Look at these. He took out Ace, Sabo, and Luffy's bounties, shocking his companions. These bounties, Miss Wednesday shouted in shock. How can they have these bounties? They act like idiots, Mr. Nine commented. You know better than to underestimate a pirate's strength because of their appearance, Igagram scolded. At the moment, they're unconscious. Go confiscate all the treasure they have. And tie them up. We'll lose some reward money if we kill them. The government would rather do public executions on criminals anyway. Ma, it's better to let them sleep. Yeah, they really got tired from that party. So, best not to wake. Fore looked up, and saw Zoro, Luna, and Devin looking down at them. Mr. 8, Miss Monday. 3 of the crew is missing. They heard their associates yell. How you 3 were supposed to be knocked out, Igagram stated. A true swordsman never allows alcohol take control of himself, Zoro stated proudly. I'm 11. I don't drink such things, Luna pointed out with a tilt of her head. My body is able to cancel out the alcohol, Devin smirked. You know what these guys are, right Zoro? Yep, Zoro answered. This is a den full of bounty hunters. They take advantage of overconfident rookies entering the Grand Line. Standing up, Zoro took out Wado Ichimonji. You guys will be fine opponents for us, Baroque works. Wah? How does he know about our organization? Mr. Nine screamed, surprised like the rest of his allies. When I was still a bounty hunter, a certain organization tried to recruit me, Zoro explained. Of course, I refused. An organization whose members don't know anything about the other's identities and must refer each other by code names. Even the boss's identity and location is a mystery. An organization that asks for complete obedience from their members. Baroque works. Was that supposed to be a secret? He knows about our secret, Igagram growled lightly, and he told his two companions about it. We must eliminate them. 3 more tombstones must be added to the cactus rock tonight. Get them. But then they noticed that they were gone. They're gone, Mr. Nine exclaimed. Where did they go? Igagram asked. Then they noticed that the 3 were in the midst of their crowd. So, how do you guys want to split this? Zoro asked casually. I'll take the middle, Luna said. I'm taking right, Devin answered. Alright then. Shall we begin? Zoro asked, grinning. The bounty hunters tried to shoot them, but due to their speed, they accidentally hit each other. You fools, they disappeared again. They're too fast. Igagram shouted. Suddenly, a blade, a gun, and a hand appeared close by his head. Are you sure you want to add 3 new tombstones? Zoro taunted. There they are. Get them. Wait, you fools? Igagram panicked. Are you planning to shoot me too? The bounty hunters took aim. I said wait. Igagram took out his saxophone and blew, shooting out bullets from it. Igarappa. By then, Luna, Zoro, and Devin had already disappeared to a hiding spot. A shotgun, huh? Zoro said, panting. That's going to be a problem, Devin whispered. That was really close there, Luna said, giving out a breath of relief. It seems, Igagram started, his voice low and dangerous. We'll have to deal with them personally. The matter of responsibility? Where did those 3 go? Igagram wondered. Do they plan to take on all of us by themselves? They don't seem to understand the power of Baroque works. Unknown to them all, Luna, Devin, and Zoro were listening in on their every word from a nearby building. Zoro smirked as he touched one of his sword's hilt. This is the perfect chance to try out my new swords, Zoro grinned. Don't hold anything back. I don't think they noticed us here yet, Devin muttered. Found them, shocked, the 3 first mates looked up to see a bounty hunter, pointing his gun at them. Just before he could shoot, Zoro busted open a door, and rolled in as Devin grabbed Luna and did the same. Just as they got a hold of themselves, more bounty hunters from the windows and doors were pointing guns at them. Quickly, Zoro kicked up a table, blocking some of the bullets. He took hold of Yubashiri. I'll start with you first, Zoro mumbled. Luna took out her gun as Devin cracked his knuckle. Take your time, Luna nodded. Zoro smirked as he sliced the table in half and charged at the bounty hunters. With quick movements, he passed by them. The bounty hunters were a little confused as they seemed unscathed. Very light. A fine blade indeed, Zoro praised. Suddenly, the bounty hunters doubled over in pain as Luna and Devin caught up to Zoro. Over there, I see them. Oh, we've been spotted, Zoro said as he smiled. Up there. Luna pointed at a flight of stairs before running toward it with Devin and Zoro following her. Once she got up to the top, she was met with a bazooka. Take this. Eep. Luna squeaked. Flaming axe kick, Devin shouted as he kicked the bazooka that was in the bounty hunter's arms. That was close. Nice save there, Zoro commented. To Zoro, look out, Devin exclaimed, pointing at a liquor barrel coming straight at them. Zoro quickly sliced the barrel into 4 pieces. Man, what a waste of fine liquor, Zoro sighed as the hunters behind them were knocked out. Suddenly, he noticed a stone axe coming at him. In retaliation, he somehow cut through the stone, shocking himself and his companions. Holy! This one can cut through stone. Kitetsu has a pretty sharp edge. A masterwork blade only cuts when the user wishes to cut something. This one is going to be a problem child. Zoro didn't notice the kid with a knife behind him until he heard Luna shoot her gun, knocking the knife out of the boy's hand. Zoro turned and stared at the boy, who cried and went to hug a nun. May the Lord have mercy on us. The nun cried. The 3 first mates stared at them blankly. The Lord's merciful binding. The nun sprayed something at them with a cross. She and the boy took out their weapons to strike, but then noticed to see they were behind them. Luna looks way more innocent than that kid, Zoro muttered. Don't I know it? Devin asked, holding Luna who was purring in his shoulder. Zoro knocked the nun and the kid with the back of his blade before climbing up the ladder with Devin and Luna. They're going up again. Get them. As soon as they reached the second roof of the building, Zoro took hold of the top of the ladder, grinning evilly at the man who just got there. With his inhumane strength, he pushed the ladder off the edge, causing many to tumble off. He turned to Devin and Luna. You two stay here, he said before jumping on top of the falling ladder and launching himself to the next roof. He was about to be shot at until he took out two swords. Two swords style. Takanami. Zoro smirked as he took down his opponents. He looked up as he heard screaming from above. He simply cut a circle and walked off as the hunters above him fell into a hole. Hey, can you guys take care of some of the losers down there? He called out to Devin and Luna. I guess, Devin called back, though as the fishman karate user turned, he heard Luna shout. Zoro, duck. Zoro blinked before feeling a presence behind him. Quickly, he fell to the ground just as a ladder smashed itself against the wall in front of him. Holy shit. That was close, Zoro gasped. But he was grabbed by Miss Monday, who had brass knuckles in her other hand. The next thing he remembers was getting punched in the face as he heard his comrades scream out his name. Ma, Igagram muttered, we wasted too much time already. Gaia. Miss Monday's scream was heard from below, shocking her fellow bounty hunters. What's wrong? Zoro asked with his face shadowed over. Though he was in Miss Monday's grip, his hand was holding her face in a death grip. Where's that strength you're so proud of? With that said, Miss Monday fell to the ground. Whoa, Luna awed as she saw Zoro power and strength. As expected of one of our captain's first mate, Devin clarified, crossing his arms. I can be strong like that? In your own way. Come on, let's go kick some butt. Shall we continue? Zoro smirked, licking some of his blood off his face. A fight is never a game. I see, Igagram scowled. The wanted poster must be a mistake on the Marine's part. So, he must be the real captain, including the other two, Mr. Nine concluded. I've always thought it was strange how those three grinning idiots are worth their bounties, Miss Wednesday nervously laughed. It's disgraceful, Igagram muttered. To be defeated by these three. As members of Baroque Works entrusted by Overboss to watch over this town, we have a matter of responsibility. Igagram took out his saxophone and got ready to play it. Zoro noticed this action. Igagrappa. Luckily, Zoro was able to dodge in time. Igagram then turned towards Luna and Devin. Igagrappa. Oh shit. Devin shouted. Quickly, he grabbed hold of Luna and jumped to the roof Zoro was on. God damn that man. You guys okay? Zoro asked. Yeah, I think so. Miss Wednesday, now's our chance, Mr. Nine said before jumping up the building. Right. Miss Wednesday whistled. Karu, lend me a hand. Suddenly, a duck appeared out of nowhere. It quacked and lifted a wing. Not literally, finally. Miss Wednesday was upon the saddle of Karu's back. Now let's show them your speed that can even outrun a leopard. Quack. Karu squawked, but, who the hell told you to sit down? Miss Wednesday scolded, hitting her duck at the back of his head. The three first mates looked down at the strange scene below them and sweat dropped. The hell? Zoro blandly said. I don't really want to know, Luna groaned. Shouldn't you be paying attention to something else at the moment? They heard a voice call out. They looked up and saw Mr. Nine jumping off the roof above them. Can you keep up with my acrobatic finesse? Neketsu 9 Konjubat? Mr. Nine swung his bat at them, but Zoro was able to block him with his sword. Ha! These are metal bats. Better not let your swords get chipped. Mr. Nine flipped so that he was a few feet behind Zoro, Luna, and Devin. The three paused a little as Zoro wiped his forehead. What's wrong? Are you too scared to move? Mr. Nine taunted. Zoro made him eat those words when he appeared in front of him pointing his sword at Mr. Nine. Gia. Mr. Nine panicked and began hitting Zoro's sword randomly. Oh, what happened to that acrobatic finesse of yours? Zoro smirked. Fine, I'll show you, Mr. Nine growled before flipping over Zoro. Keep your eyes open. But then, he realized that he was wide open in midair. Zoro smirked. He's wide open for you, Devin, Zoro shouted. Thank you, Devin said before leaping into the air and punching Mr. 9 down to the ground. I wonder who else is incompetent, Zoro said with a scowl as Devin landed next to him. Zoro, Luna said, pointing at a certain blue-hair woman on a duck. If you want someone who is competent, then look no further. You three best prepare yourselves, Miss Wednesday shouted. Gaze deeply at my body. While Zoro and Devin were confused, Luna took the time to cover her eyes. Mimic Memai dance. Due to the many circles on her and the swaying, Devin and Zoro suddenly fell to the ground. Fufu. Such good boys. Now, she took out a string with a small blade, for the finish. Kujaki slasher. Spinning the string blade, Karu ran forward, in the wrong direction. You're going the wrong way. Miss Wednesday yelled, hitting the duck at the back of the head. As she kept scolding the duck, the three first mates' sweat dropped. This is unbelievable, Devin groaned. I'm really embarrassed that we had to fight these guys, Zoro twitched. We get what we get, Luna sighed. They heard a sound and quickly dodged. Iga Grappa. Igagram began shooting at them. Zoro quickly cut open a hole and dragged Devin and Luna down with him. Cutting a hole to save you and your friends, Igagram said. How futile. He watched as the three ran out of the first floor of the building. I shall show you the true terror of my strength. Meanwhile, Zoro, Luna, and Devin were in an alley, trying to catch their breath. We gotta do something about that shotgun, Luna panted. We got to close that gap so Zoro can get a hit. How the hell are we going to do that though? Zoro asked her. Da hhhhh. The three noticed Mr. 9 emerge from a pile of rubble. How dare you harm me to this extent? You won't be forgiven. Maybe I should have punched him harder, Devin muttered. Kato base Shikomi bat. Mr. 9 shot out a rope from his bat and it wrapped itself around Luna. Huh? Luna squeaked. Luna, her two crewmates shouted. Now I have captured one of your friends. Mr. 9 laughed as he tightened the rope around his arm. Now Mr. 8. Finish them off. Devin and Zoro were about to move to help Luna, but were interrupted by Miss Wednesday. Not so fast, she said, pointing a sword at an unconscious fat Luffy. Move a muscle and your friend gets it. Good job, Miss Wednesday. They won't be able to do anything now, Mr. 9 cackled. Idiot, Zoro hissed. The least he could do is wake up before becoming a hostage. Up on the roof, Mr. 8 pulled his bow tie, causing 6 guns to come out of his curled hair, preparing for fire. Guys, Luna squeaked, sweat dropping. Preparation complete. What the fuck? Zoro shouted. How is that even possible? Devin asked to no one in particular. You gotta love cartoon, anime logic. They never go with reality. Igarappa. Igagram yelled as he pulled his tie, firing the guns. I'll get Luffy. You take care of those two, Devin said before charging at a now startled Miss Wednesday. Zoro quickly grabbed Luna. Hang on tight, Zoro told the little girl even though she was tied up. He pulled at the iron ropes, causing Mr. 9 to surge forward in the path of the shoot projectiles. Mr. 9 was hit and smoke rose. Zoro quickly cut the rope off of Luna just as Mr. 9 came falling down. Zoro then swung the man towards Miss Wednesday and her duck, who were too shocked to see Devin dragging Luffy away. The unconscious Mr. 9 crashed into Miss Wednesday and Karu, causing all three to fly back. Phew, Zoro sighed, turning to Luna. You okay, kid? Yeah, Luna said, taking off the remaining ropes on her. The both heard a click and looked up to realize their last problem. Igarappa. Zoro grabbed the albino and jumped out of the way of the shooting range. Once they landed, Zoro put Luna down and ran towards Luffy. I'm going to be borrowing your stomach, Luffy, Zoro shouted before jumping onto the big belly of the rubber captain. Igagram saw this and raised an eyebrow. What is he? With the support of Luffy's belly, Zoro rocketed towards Igagram and cut him across his chest. Once the curly hairman was down and Zoro had landed on his feet, the three first mates gave out a breath of relief. Finished, they unexpectedly said at the same time. In the silence on the night, a certain rubbery captain woke up, unaware of his surroundings. Huh? How did I get out here? Luffy burped, looking around. Blah. My stomach doesn't feel good. But I'm so sleepy. Luffy gave out a yawn. I'll just go back to sleep. One Piece. Meanwhile, some of the bounty hunters were running from the village. I can't believe they defeated number agents under 12, one bounty hunter shouted. I didn't actually think those four would lose. Where do we hide? Anywhere but there. Let's just stay hidden until those pirates leave the Ag. It's the Unluck IES, Friday the 13th. On the graveyard sign, a vulture and an otter were settled there, glaring at them. Hold on. We weren't running away or anything. We're just going to, the bathroom. The unluckies had a mutterous glint in their eyes before rushing towards the bounty hunters. Gyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyyy turned to see three people standing at the edge of the town. One was a woman holding a green and indigo striped umbrella. The other was a man wearing some sort of trench coat with a bunch of fives. And the last was also a male that had brown hair. He wore pink sunglasses, a pink tank top, a brown belt holding up blue pants, and pink shoes. "Oh man," laughed the pink-wearing man. "That was a lot of noise." "Such a rowdy town," the woman said. "HPMH," the trench coat man huffed. "I can't believe we were sent to the front lines." The bounty hunters pointed their guns at the three newcomers. "Wah, who the hell are you people?" they yelled, unaware of the shocked looks of the unluckies. "Mr. Five," the trench coat man said. "Miss Valentine," the woman smirked. "Mr. Pink," the pig-wearing man chuckled. "One Piece." In the silence of the night, Luna and Devin watched as Zoro was dragging Miss Monday and Mr. 8. "Down you go," Zoro muttered, throwing the two Baroque work members off the roof. Once they were on the ground, the green-haired man sat down. "That takes care of cleaning things up." He noticed Luna and Devin climbing up to where he was. "You guys want a drink?" Zoro asked, holding up an alcohol bottle he got out of nowhere. "Sure, I kinda need one," Devin said just as he got up. "No thanks," Luna answered. "I'm underage." "Alright, suit yourself," Zoro shrugged, handing Devin another bottle he got from nowhere. Devin thanked Zoro as he opened the bottle. "So what should we tell the others when they wake up?" "We'll just tell them what happened," Zoro said. "I'm pretty sure they'll believe you at the least." "I guess," Luna muttered. Suddenly, she jerked a little as her ears heard something. "Do you guys hear that?" I don't hear anything," Devin said. "It must be your imagination." Down below, Igaram was getting up from being unconscious. "I can't die, not here," he thought while gasping. "I still have that mission." "You lost to a little girl, a fish guy, and a swordsman? How pathetic," muttered a voice behind him. Igaram turned to see three figures that he knew of. "Mr. Five, Miss Valentine, Mr. Pink," the curly-haired man shouted. "Are you idiots playing around?" Mr. Five grumbled. "Kya ha ha ha," Miss Valentine laughed. "Give them a break, they're not capable as we are." "What a mess," Mr. Pink sighed, his sunglasses slipping down a little. "Do we have to clean all this shit up?" "Did you just come to laugh at us?" Igaram panted. "Sort of," Mr. Pink shrugged with a smug grin. "Kya ha ha ha, we are here for business obviously," Miss Valentine followed. "Well, then," Mr. Nine gasped, struggling to stay up, "with the three of you with us, those pirates won't stand a chance." "That's right," Ms. Wednesday replied. "So please go crush them." Then the three higher agents gave a dark look to the downed lower agents. "Don't joke around," Mr. Five snarled. Igaram and Ms. Wednesday froze in shock while Mr. Nine looked confused. "You think we're backing you up? You think that we were just ordered to come to the edge of the Grand Line just to help you with a bunch of rookie pirates?" Ms. Valentine snickered. "Pwa ha ha ha." Mr. Pink laughed. "That's priceless." "What?" Mr. Nine yelped. "Then why are you here?" "Surely, you would know," Mr. Pink smirked. "A crime severe enough for the boss to send us all the way here," Mr. Five explained. The boss's words were direct. "My secret has been found out. We have no idea what the secret was, but Baroque Works' #1 rule is secrecy. No one is supposed to pry at other people's past. Thus, it leads to the conclusion that the boss's identity has been found out. After the investigation, we found out that an agent is from a certain kingdom has infiltrated Baroque Works," Ms. Valentine finished. "Wait," Mr. Nine panicked, seeing that he had a crown on him. I know I wear this crown, but I'm not a king. We know that, dumbass, Mr. Pink face palmed. Ms. Wednesday had a stern look on her face as her duck quacked. They know, Igaram thought. Is this the end? Back to the three first mates. They watched the agents talking to each others, but did not hear a thing due the distance. Luna tugged at the shirts of the elder men. What is it, Luna? Devon asked. I think I know, Zoro said as he swallowed the sake in his mouth. Luffy is caught in the open. Should we go get him? Luna asked. Devon and I can get him. You stay here. I'm not sure if this will get ugly or not, so it's better safe than sorry, Zoro clarified. Fine, Luna grumbled, disappointed that she might miss some action. Back to the agents, Mr. Five leered down at the fallen agents. The name of the spy, he began, is the Alabasta Kingdoms. Die, Igaram screamed, firing at Mr. Five. Igarappa, I won't let you harm her. I swear it on my honor as the head of Alabasta's royal guard. Mr. 8. Mr. 9 shouted, confused. Igaram, Ms. Wednesday yelled. Igaram, please run away, Igaram yelled out to Ms. Wednesday. But it was too late as they saw Ms. Valentine above Ms. Wednesday. How futile, she laughed before dropping down and cracking the bind that held Ms. Wednesday's hair up. Ah! Ms. Wednesday yelped before trying to attack Ms. Valentine, who flew away before the blue hair woman kid and laughed away. Ms. Wednesday heard an explosion close by and turned just as Igaram fell. Igaram, no. The name of the spy, Mr. Five said from the flames, is Igaram, head of the Alabasta Kingdom's royal guards. And you Ms. Wednesday, Mr. Pink snickered, are the second spy, the princess of Alabasta, Nefertari Vivi. Why you, Ms. Wednesday, now identified as Vivi, gritted out through her teeth. You were a princess, Miss Wednesday? Mr. 9 yelled, bowing down. Now's not the time, Mr. 9. While that was happening, none of them seemed to be aware of Zoro and Devon dragging a certain rubbery captain. We're having a pretty strange night, aren't we? Devon asked. I'm pretty sure we're going to have more of them, Zoro replied, before saying, don't mind us, and keep on fighting among yourselves. Under the boss's order, Mr. 5 began, picking his nose, we're to eliminate the both of you. Don't underestimate me, Vivi shouted, taking out her weapon. But then Mr. 9 stepped in front of her, confusing her. Though, I am not sure what is going on, Mr. 9 started, but you are still my comrade in arms that I've been with for a long time. You run away while I hold them off. Mr. 9. Bye bye baby. Neketsu 9 Kanjubat. Mr. 9. I'll take care of him, Mr. Pink said. Don't waste your boogers. Did I just hear him right? Zoro asked. Know your limits, douchebag, Mr. Pink smirked as his feet turned into what looked like ostrich feet. Gangly double kick. Mr. Pink jumped up and gave 2 hard kicks at Mr. 9, making him fly back. Zoro and Devon looked in shock. Damn, Devon said, those are some legs. Zoro looked at him with a creeped out face. Not like that, you idiot. Suddenly, both first mates fankles. Gah. You again? Zoro shouted, noticing it was Igaram. You too, knowing your strengths, please let me make a request, Igaram begged. Let go, just because you're trying to suck up to us, doesn't mean we're going to help, Zoro snapped. Those two are devil fruit users. I don't have the power to stop them. Please protect the princess in my place, I beg of you. Vivi quickly jumped onto Kuru. Run, Kuru. Quack, Kuru cawed before running. Oh, she ran away, Ms. Valentine giggled. She can't escape us, Mr. 5 said. Pwahahaha. Laughed. Last one to her is a rotten egg. He suddenly turned into an ostrich and ran off, laughing like a madman. Ms. Valentine also laughed before running after Mr. Pink. Mr. 5 mumbled something along the lines of, idiots, and followed. Igaram was still holding onto Zoro and Devon's ankles, trying to get their help. If you can safely bring her back to the Alabasta Kingdom in the Far East, the curly-haired man coughed, I will reward you greatly. If you don't shut up, I am going to kill you, Zoro grunted. Please don't Zoro, Devon's sweat dropped. Please, protect the princess, Igaram begged. A reward, you say, ah? Zoro, Devon, and Igaram turned to see a certain orange-haired navigator. How about $1 billion belly? She smirked. Nami. The 3 men stared the orange-haired woman. A billion, Igaram coughed. Ma, weren't you out cold a while ago from drinking booze? Zoro asked, sweat dropping. As if, how can I let my guard down in a place like this? Nami replied. A place where people welcome pirates. Wouldn't that hint out anything at all? She has a point, Devon muttered as he thought back to it. So I only pretended to be drunk. I could drink a lot more if I wanted to. Whatever, the two male first mates mumbled. Nami noticed that Igaram was still in shock about her price and decided to say something. So, how about it? Nami asked. Can you guarantee a reward of 1 billion berry to us, Mr. Head of the Royal Guard? Remember that without us your precious princess will die. Such a witch, Devon internally cried. I am afraid I cannot guarantee such a number, I am only one soldier, Igaram argued. Are you telling me that the princess is worth less than 1 billion berry? Nami asked, making Igaram freeze. Pay up. Talk about extortion, Zoro muttered. Is she usually like this? Devon asked. You have no idea. In that case, Igaram coughed. I'm sure that if you safely bring the princess back to the kingdom, you can negotiate with her and receive that much money. So you want us to save her first? Nami asked with a nervous smile. There is no time to talk. The princess is in danger, Igaram desperately yelled. Fine, we'll save your princess, Nami sighed. Go get her, Devon and Zoro. What? Devon yelled. Why do we have to go? Zoro screamed. Why do we have to help you with your dirty money-grabbing schemes? Don't be dumb, she said. The money may be mine alone, but a contract includes the whole crew. That logic is only good enough for little kids, the male first mates snapped. Oh, come on, I'm just asking that you beat up a couple of bad guys. If you hadn't noticed, I hate being used by others, Zoro yelled. We're nothing like Sanji, Devon argued. During the three's little argument, none of them noticed Luffy getting up, muttering about going to pee, and walking off. Oh, I get it now, Zoro, Nami smirked. Focus her attention on Zoro. You're only saying that because you don't think you can win. What did you say? I dare you to say it again, Zoro growled. You're only saying that because you don't think you can win. Oh, you did not just say that again, aren't you forgetting that you owe me money? Nami sighed. What? I don't, Zoro retorted. Remember at Log Town, I gave you 100,000 berry. And I gave it back to you since I got my swords for free. But I gave you the money at a 300% interest, Nami continued. You still owe me 200,000 berry. Harsh, Devon thought as he looked over at Zoro, who had a look of bewilderment. But you got your money back, isn't that enough? Zoro asked. Nope, Nami bluntly said. What? Nami gave a look of disappointment at Zoro. Are you saying you can't keep a promise? Devon could have sworn he heard a punch at someone's pride as he watched Zoro grit his teeth. And Devon, Nami said, getting the orange-haired man's attention, what would Mika think if you left someone who was in need of help? Devon's eye twitched, giving a look that obviously said, how dare you bring the Mika card up, so if you do as I say, Zoro, we'll be even, and Devon, I won't tell Mika about what you wanted to avoid. I hate you so much, Devon growled before walking off. I will make sure you don't have a peaceful death, Zoro snarled before following the fishman karate user. I'm not going to have one anyway, Nami smirked. I'd probably go to hell. She noticed a speck of white from the corner of her eye. Don't even think about it, Luna. Luna froze, and hunched over seeing that her plan to go help Zoro and Devon failed. The little girl walked over to Nami. How come I can't go? Luna whined. I'm pretty sure Sabo and Oscar would skin me alive if I let you do something that dangerous. Curse my uselessness, Igaram grunted, gaining the two girls' attention. If only I was stronger, I could protect the princess. Hey, don't worry, Nami smiled to reassure the man. Zoro has the strength of a monster. So does Devon, Luna followed. If anything were to happen to the princess, Igaram panted, it would mean the end of our kingdom. She must stay alive. Luna and Nami looked at Igaram, confused of what he was talking about. One Piece. As fast as her duck could run, Vivi tried to escape the three Baroque Works agents after her. There she is, faster, Kuru. Vivi ordered. There's a boat docked behind the cactus rock. Kya ha ha ha. Ms. Valentine laughed. The prey is close by, Mr. Pink clucked. Such a futile attempt, Mr. Five muttered. Vivi keep going, and saw a familiar figure holding a log. Go on, Ms. Monday commanded. Go get to the boat, I'll do my best to stop these guys. But, because we were defeated by those 3 pirates, we'd be punished for failing our mission anyway, Ms. Monday explained. In that case, I'd rather go down helping a friend. Vivi looked at her, surprised by her words, but yet relieved. Now go. Vivi nodded and had Karoo run past Ms. Monday. Thank you. Vivi called out. First Mr. 9, and now Ms. Monday, too. Mr. 5 asked, rolling up his sleeve. Man, what a day to betray someone, Mr. Pink groaned. Kya-ha-ha, what a joke, Ms. Valentine laughed. Mr. 5 ran forward towards Ms. Monday. You disgrace the name of, he slammed his arm against her face, causing an explosion, Baroque works. With that, Ms. Monday fell back, unconscious. Vivi growled in frustration as Mr. 5 began explaining his ability. I'm a bomb man that can make any part of my body explode. With this ability given to me by the bomb fruit, I have never failed at any mission. Mr. 5 quickly took out a booger, ready to flick it at the princess. You can't run from us. Nose fancy cannon. He flicked his booger at Vivi with the intention to destroy her. But then, a flash of green appeared, and the booger was cut in half, causing 2 explosions at the sides. Mr. Bushido, Vivi exclaimed. Ah, the road, Ms. Valentine muttered, seeing rocks cover the road ahead. Who's he? Mr. 5 sneered. Zoro was shaking in fury as Devon came beside him. Did you just? Devon's voice died down so he didn't anger his friend any more than he is. I can't believe I had to cut through a fucking booger, Zoro raged. Damn it, Vivi growled, taking out her weapon and went to attack Zoro. Why did you have to come and block my way? Of course, Zoro was able to block it with his sword. Relax, we're here to save you. Save, me? One Piece. I'm gonna go wake up the Sabou and Ace, Luna told Nami before she walked off. So, Nami said, catching Igaram's attention, what is Baroque Works? It's a secret organization in which not a single member knows the boss's identity, Igaram began to explain. Under his orders, we carry out tasks ranging from gathering intelligence, assassination, robbery, and bounty hunting. But why do they take orders from someone they don't even know about? Nami asked. The final objective of Baroque Works, Igaram continued, is the creation of an ideal nation. Those who brought success to our organization will be granted high-ranking positions in this ideal nation for the boss. I see, the boss goes by the code name, Mr. Zero. The lower the ranking officers is the higher their ranking will be in the ideal nation. But more importantly the stronger they'll be. Especially the numbers 5 and lower, their abilities are abnormal. One Piece. Luffy, still with a bouncy belly, was walking about. Time to go back to sleep, he yawned. But then, something caught his eye. What? He exclaimed. One Piece. Mr. 5, Mr. Pink, and Ms. Valentine stared at the 2 first mates, wondering why in the world they were helping the princess. You're 2 of 3 who defeated the low-ranking agents, right? Ms. Valentine asked, tilting her HLE like you protect a princess? Mr. 5 asked. We have circumstances, Zoro answered for himself and Devon. Well, you're in the way. Mr. Pink squawked. Well, since you 2 are in the way, Ms. Valentine continued, folding her umbrella and taking off her hat, allow me to bury your faces to the ground. ZORRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR to see Luffy standing, his hat shadowing over his eyes. "Ah, looks like Captain's brother is awake," Devon said, relieved to know that he will get help. "Ah, Luffy, care to help out here?" Zoro asked with a smirk. "I'll never forgive you two. Fight me," Luffy suddenly yelled. "What? Sabou? Sabou, wake up," Luna coaxed, slightly shaking her captain awake. Sabou groaned before slowly sitting up and rubbing his eyes. "Hey Luna," Sabou yawned. "Did you have a nightmare again?" "No, I did not. Can you help me wake up, Ace?" "Why?" "I'll explain later," Luna answered. Sabou sighed as he stood and walked over to the sleeping Ravenhead. Sabou leaned in so that his mouth was next to Ace's ear. "Oh Ace," he cooed, "you need to wake up or else Luffy will eat all the meat." "That's my meat, Ace shouted out, sitting up quickly, an angry look upon his face. Relax, I was just kidding. Well, you know I hate it when you wake me up like that, Ace hissed, causing Sabou to chuckle a little. As much as it's funny to make fun of Ace, we have a big problem, Luna interrupted. The two captains looked at the little girl. What problem? They asked. One Piece. What idiotic shit are you saying, you moron? Zoro yelled as Devin twitched. I swear all three of our captains are crazy, Devin muttered. Shut up. Ungrateful bastards like you two need their asses kicked, Luffy shouted. Ungrateful? Zoro questioned. That's right, I can't forgive you, Luffy growled. How dare you beat up all the townspeople after they welcomed us and fed us yummy food? Zoro and Devin almost fell over from Luffy's idiocy. Well, I did cut down most of them, Zoro muttered. And I did beat some up, Devin whispered. Is he really dense? Vivi asked, sweat dropping. Looks like a friend of theirs, Mr. Five said. Such an annoying bunch. Kyahaha, let's just kill them already, Ms. Valentine laughed. All obstacles that interfere with the mission must be eliminated. Mr. Pink tilted his head as he stared at Luffy. Why is he so fat? Luffy, listen, Zoro started, those townspeople were actually. Don't make any excuses, Luffy screamed out, charging at the two male first mates. Shit, Devin muttered before getting ready for battle. One Piece. So, let me see if I got this right, Ace said, rubbing his temples. As it turns out, this whole island happens to harbor a bunch of bounty hunters that work for an organization called Baroque Works. You, Zoro, and Devin went up against these guys and defeated them. Then Nami somehow gets them to go and protect a princess. Is that right? Luna nodded. Well, that's just dandy, Ace mumbled, sarcasm dripping from that sentence. Man, we would have gotten in a real mess if it weren't for you and the guys, Sabou commented, patting Luna's head. So they're outside, right? Yeah, Luna replied. Nami is talking to the princess's guard, and Zoro and Devin are off helping that princess. Oh, I think Luffy out there, too. Sabou and Ace froze. Luffy's out there? Sabou asked. Yeah, but I'm not sure if he's still sleeping or not. Ace and Sabou looked at each other. Do you think? Maybe. It is Luffy. Crash, the three jumped at the sound. Suddenly, a loud battle cry was heard. Definitely Luffy, Ace and Sabou said at the same time. Quickly, Ace, Sabou, and Luna ran out of the building only to see a strange sight. Zoro and Devin seemed to be duking it out with Luffy while three knocked out agents were on the floor, unconscious and twitching. Damn it, those idiots. They saw Nami ready to walk over to them and knock some sense into them. Wait, Nami, Ace stopped the navigator. Let Sabou and me handle this. How are you going to do that? Nami asked. You'll see, Ace smirked before running towards the quarreling Nakama with Sabou. Quickly, Sabou came behind Zoro and Devin, grabbed their heads, and collided the heads together, knocking them down while Ace tackled Luffy and pinned him down. Wah, Ace, get off of me, Luffy shouted. What do you think you are doing, Lu? Ace asked. Kicking Zoro and Devin's butt until you butted in, Luffy explained. Why? They beat up the townspeople. Wait, hold that thought. Did you give them a chance to explain? No, Luffy muttered. Thought so, Ace sighed before standing and throwing Luffy over his shoulder despite the younger's protests. Sabou kneeled down to the two he knocked down. You guys alright? Does it look like we're alright? Zoro and Devin snapped. Are you looking for a fight, too? Zoro threatened. Hey, Luna already briefed us on the situation, Sabou explained. I was just stopping some idiots from doing something stupid. Why you? Bam from behind, Nami had just punched Zoro and Devin before yelling at them. As much as I'm grateful for you guys making sure the girl is safe, you almost cost me 1 billion belly. Vivi just sat there, shocked by their deed. Why did you save me? The princess asked. Oh yeah, you don't know anything, yet. How would you like to make a contract with me? A contract? One Piece. She. Luffy laughed. So that's what happened? You should have said so earlier. I thought you went and beat them up because they didn't cook your favorite food. Who do you think we are? Zoro shouted. Unlike you and your brothers, we're not gluttons, Devin argued. The ones awake were now around in a circle. Sort of. Sabou and Ace were next to each other with Luffy sitting on Ace's lap. Nami was leaning against a building's wall. Vivi sat on haystack with Devin standing nearby. Zoro was sitting against a crate and somehow Luna was able to get herself to sit on Zoro's lap. I refuse, Vivi politely said to Nami. But you have my gratitude for saving me. What? Why? You're a princess, right? A billion bellies shouldn't be like nothing, Nami muttered. Have you heard of a kingdom called Alabasta? No, can't say that I have. It is a highly civilized country within the Grand Line, Vivi explained. It was once a peaceful kingdom long ago. Did something happen? Devon asked. Well, in the past few years, things have been mired by the revolutionary activities. Because of radical Alabastan revolutionaries, my country is in complete chaos, Vivi explained. One day, I heard the organization, Baroque Works, apparently, it was Baroque Works who was instigating the revolutionaries. Other than that fact, I didn't know anything else nor can I do anything about Baroque Works. So I made a request to Igaram, who has been looking after me since I was a child. You mean the guy with the chakua hair? Luffy asked before getting whacked in the head by Sabo. Ow. It's rude to interrupt, Sabo sighed, looking at Vivi. Continue, please. Vivi nodded. Even though what I heard may or may not be a rumor, I asked Igaram if there was a way to infiltrate because that would be the only way to clear away the shadow that looms over Alabasta and determine exactly what is Baroque Works' goal once and for all. Well, aren't you a brave princess? Zoro smirked. How noble, Devon complimented. Luna seemed to flinch at that statement. Wait, so this ideal nation that Baroque Works is striving for is… Nami paused, unable to say what she wanted to say. It's exactly what you think, Vivi replied. Even though the boss has hinted a plan for an ideal nation, Baroque Works' true objective is to take over the Alabasta kingdom. If I don't hurry back to stop the revolutionaries and tell the people of Baroque Works, things will go as they planned. I see. So that explains why you refused my offer. A country in the middle of a war wouldn't have any money to spare. So, who's the boss? Luffy piped up. Luffy, Ace muttered in a warning tone. Why you mean the boss's identity? Don't ask me, it's better that none of you know of it. Vivi shouted in panic. If you knew, Baroque Works would hunt you down. Please leave us out of it, Nami smiled. I mean, a guy taking over a kingdom must be really tough to beat. I agree. No matter how tough you pirates are, none of you are a match for the warlord, Crocodile. As soon as those words left her mouth, Vivi covered her lips in horror. Nami hugged herself in fear. Luffy and Ace's jaws fell open. Sabo face palmed. Devon just stood, shaking his head while Luna and Zoro's sweat dropped. Didn't why? Zoro asked. And I thought Luffy was dense, Ace and Sabo thought. Suddenly, they all felt like they were being watched and took the risk to turn their head. Upon the roof, the unluckies stared down at them. They looked at each other before flying away. So does that mean we're screwed? Luna innocently asked. Nami grabbed the front of Vivi's shirt and shook her. What was that bird and otter just now? Nami screamed. Are they going to report us to their boss? I'm sorry, Vivi cried. Can you believe it? A warlord, she said, Luffy said with an ecstatic voice. Seems like we have a challenge in our hands now, Zoro, Devon chuckled. Not bad, Zoro smirked. I'm sorry, Vivi apologized, it accidentally slipped out. Do you think that using accidentally is going to help? Why do we have to be hunted down because you slipped up? Nami yelled before letting go and crying out in tears. We just entered the Grand Line and now we're going to get chased by a warlord. Relax, Nami, Ace tried to assure her. Everything will be alright. Yeah, what Ace said, Sabo followed. We'll be lucky if we meet him early, Zoro said, talking to Luffy. I wonder what kind of guy he is, Luffy replied to his first mate. All of you shut up, Nami screeched. She turned and began walking away. It's been a really short time traveling with you, but bye. Where's she going? Luna asked. They don't know my face yet, so I'm leaving. But when she only took a few steps, Nami noticed the otter drawing on a sketch pad. When it was done, the otter showed sketches of her, the 3 first mates, and the 3 captains. Oh, that's nice. Once realization hit her, she turned and stomped back to her nakama. Damn it, now I can't run away. Those are really interesting animals, Luffy muttered. I kinda want to recruit one, Ace told Sabo. Where were you planning to go anyway? Zoro asked the navigator. Anyway, it looks like we're on Baroque Works' wanted list. This is so cool, Luffy cheered. I think it's almost time that you showed us how much you've improved, Ace laughed. We're reckless as ever. Sabou shook his head with a smile. I wonder what the other agents can do, Devon smirked. Is Nami okay? Luna asked, though her question drowned by her crewmate's excitement. Vivi at the moment was trying to comfort the distraught navigator. I have 500,000 belly in my savings account, Vivi stuttered. Fear not, a voice cried out. All heads turned towards a certain royal guard wearing what Vivi was wearing. It'll be ma, will be alright. Igaram coughed. I have a plan. Igaram, what is with that outfit? Vivi asked, shocked. Wow, you can definitely pull off that look, Luffy said, stupidly amazed. I'm surrounded by idiots, Nami moaned. She looked at Sabou and rethought what she said. Actually, Sabou is the most reasonable of them. Enough about me and listen, Igaram said. Once the Baroque Works Network receive the news of you, they will send pursuers after you, even more so, since you defeated Mr. Five and his partners. Just so you know, even though Crocodile doesn't have a bounty anymore since he is now a warlord, he had an 80 million bounty in his pirate days. By the way, have you decided whether to escort the princess back yet? What is he talking about? Luffy asked. He means he wants us to take her back home, Zoro answered. And I think also protecting her, Devon pointed out. Oh, okay, Luffy said before looking to his brothers. What about you guys? I really don't care, Ace shrugged. I'm cool with it, I guess, Sabou hummed. It's an 80 million bounty, Nami snapped. Just refuse his request. Now, princess, Igaram started, turning to the princess, please hand me the eternal pose. Eternal pose? What's that? Nami sniffed, you don't know? To put it simply, it is a log pose that eternally records a magnetic field, Igaram began explaining. A regular log pose would record the magnetic field of an island to guide a ship from island to island. But for an eternal pose, the magnetic field is permanently recorded in it. No matter what, it points to that particular magnetic field. That is what an eternal pose is. He held up an eternal pose. This one happens to point towards Alabasta. He turned back towards Vivi. Now, Princess Vivi. I shall take this and set for Alabasta while dressing up as you and taking these dummies to represent the wanted pirates here. The Baroque Works agents will chase me while you travel the normal route to Alabasta. Though I haven't taken the normal route there myself. I believe there are 2 or 3 logs to go through. Take care, all of you, and we shall meet again in Alabasta. One Piece. They were now at a small dock where Igaram placed the dummies into the boat there. The curly-haired man turned towards them. I now leave the princess in your care, he said. I bet you're gonna fool them. Luffy laughed. His brothers chuckled at his childness. Fool who? Zoro asked with disbelief. I never thought I'd see the day where someone was more naive than Arrow, Devon commented with Luna nodding in agreement. The journey will be dangerous, princess. Be careful, Igaram advised, shaking Vivi's hand. You, too, Vivi replied. With the goodbyes over with, Igaram had set sail and left. He left, Luffy pouted. Shame, Sabou sighed. He's a great guy. He's always been so dependable, Vivi said as she watched her caretaker sail away. So they all turned around so that they could go get the others and leave the island. But once they did, an explosion was heard. Turning back, they saw flames engulfing the area Igaram was in. They stared, shocked by what happened to a good man that they only met today. It can't be, Nami gasped. They're here already? Devon shouted. The captains steeled their nerves and turned. He was a great man, Luffy huffed. Nami, Ace, Zoro shouted. How are the logs? It's set, Ace replied, beginning to run his way. So is mine, Nami followed. Then let's go, Vivi, we gotta go. Nami shouted to the blue-haired girl. If they find us, Igaram's sacrifice will be in vain. As she came closer, she noticed a small trail of blood going down her chin. She's strong, Nami thought as she hugged Vivi. Don't worry, I promise we'll get you back home safely. My crew was able to save all of East Blue. And with my captain's brother's crews, not even a warlord can defeat them. One Piece. Guys, we have to get the others, they're still asleep. Luna panicked at the realization. Oh shit, Ace exclaimed. Okay, Luna, you and Zoro go to the ships. The rest of us will get them. Sabou commanded. Let's go. Quickly, they separated to their ways to prepare for the trip. With Luffy, Ace, Sabou, and Devin, they went to the house where their nakama was. Arrow, wake up. We gotta go, Ace yelled to the bicolor-haired man. Arrow snorted before slowly opening his eyes and yawning. What's up, Cap? No time to explain, Ace exclaimed before grabbing Arrow and began dragging him away. Sabou had already woken up Oscar, who stood and stretched. Sabou, what's going on? Oscar asked. I'll explain when we get to the ship, okay, Sabou said. Now let's go. Okay, Oscar answered, following the former noble. Devin decided to carry Mika as it would leave the hassle of waking her up later. Luffy, being Luffy, grabbed Usopp's nose and Sanji's leg and began dragging them out of the house despite their protests. One Piece. Come on, Vivi, Nami shouted to the princess. The two women were running to their destination. That was when Vivi noticed something. Karoo is not here. Meanwhile, Zoro and Luna were at the ships. Zoro took the liberty of raising the anchors while Luna untied the sails. Zoro, Luna. We got the others. Zoro and Luna looked over and saw their crewmates running towards them. Alright, we're just about ready to leave, Zoro called to them. Goddammit, Lu, Ace sighed when he saw Sanji and Usopp the way they were. Did you really have to drag them so roughly? We find him, Nami shouted at Vivi. But I can't leave him, Vivi argued. What's wrong, guys? Luna asked the two bickering girls. She says she can't find her duck, Nami explained, and that it hasn't appeared when she whistled. Duck? You mean that one? Luna pointed, diverting their attention from the sonic dolphin to the Going Merry. Next to Zoro was the large duck known as Karoo. That's where you were? Nami and Vivi screeched, causing Mika to wake up in Devin's arms. Devin-kun? She said, why are you carrying me? Sorry, Devin quickly said, letting Mika stand on her own. We're about to leave. Why? No time to explain, we gotta go, Ace snapped as everyone filed onto the ships. We should be able to reach the ocean if we go down the river, Vivi informed. We need to leave as quickly as possible. All the sails have been unfolded, anchors have been raised. Set sail for the next island. We're off. Luffy looked down from the railing and called out to Vivi. So how many guys are after us? He questioned. I can't say for sure, Vivi answered. Reportedly, there are about 2,000 agents in Baroque works. And towns like Whiskey Peak aren't uncommon. You mean we might have 1,000 people after us? Nami panicked. Depending on the seriousness of learning the boss's identity. One Piece. Within the devastation in the area of the explosion, two figures on a turtle creature looked at the dummies floating in the water. My, one figure said, obviously a woman by her tone. They really thought a decoy would work. She looked at her younger companion who looked blankly at the water. Stay here, okay. The younger just looked at her. Good boy. One Piece. Back with the ASL crew. Usopp and Sanji were yelling out why in the world they were leaving so soon and that they should go back. Should we explain what's going on? Zoro asked. I think Nami already handled it, Arrow said, pointing at the now downed Sanji and Usopp. She's really brutal. It seems like the fog has lifted, Sabou pointed out, and the sun is slowly coming out. Be careful not to crash your ships into the rocks, an unknown voice voiced out, and congratulations on your escape. Everyone turned to see a woman in a revealing cowgirl-like outfit sitting on the railing of the Going Merry. What? Who the hell is she? How did she get on the ship? Such nice ships here, the woman cooed. She looked at Vivi with a menacing look and an evil grin. I must tell you, Miss Wednesday, I met up with Mr. 8 a little while ago. Vivi's eyes widened in shock. You mean, you did that to Igaram? Luffy huffed, staring at the woman. Why are you here? But he was drowned out by Vivi's shout. Why are you all the way down here, Ms. All Sunday? The princess exclaimed. Wait, she's a Baroque works agent, Oscar exclaimed. Who's her partner? Her partners are Mr. Zero and, Vivi looked around a little confused, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray is usually with her though. Oh, Mr. Gray? He's just waiting for me, Ms. All Sunday grinned. He's such a good little boy. Vivi shook her head to focus. Only she and Mr. Gray know of his identity besides us. It was why Igaram and I tailed her. to learn of the boss's identity as well. Well, technically, I let you tell me, Ms. All Sunday smirked. So, she's a good guy? Luffy asked. I knew that. Vivi yelled. I bet it was you who leaked us out to him. So, she's the bad guy, Luffy gasped. Ace and Sabo face palmed at their little brother's stupidity. Now, the black-haired woman TSKED. No need to get so worked up. I let you follow me because you looked so desperate. And it was amusing to see a princess try and take down Baroque works by herself. Vivi gritted her teeth as she remembered what Igaram told her, don't underestimate me. Suddenly, most of the crew went into defense mode. Sanji and Usopp were on either side of Crocodile's right-hand agent, Sanji holding a gun and Usopp, his slingshot. Nami took out staff as did Sabo. Both Zoro and Arrow had their sword unsheathed. Mika took out a few cards as Luna aimed her gun. Oscar and Devon took stance in case of any situation. Hey, Sanji, Usopp began. Do you have any idea what's going on? No, Sanji answered. But I know that someone is threatening my precious Ms. Wednesday. Mrs. All Sunday simply closed her eyes and sighed. Would you please not point such dangerous weapons at me? Suddenly, Sanji and Usopp were thrown over the railing, shocking everyone. What? Zoro exclaimed. Did you see that? Oscar gasped. It's a devil fruit, Vivi realized. Oh, Luffy said, more curious than shocked. Just then, the ones holding weapons were disarmed. What ability is this? Mika asked, stunned. Whoa, she's a real beauty, Sanji. Being Sanji, stupidly exclaimed with hearts in his eye. Foo, no need to get so riled up, Ms. All Sunday chuckled. I didn't come here on any orders nor have any reasons to fight you. The three captains, for some reason, felt like something was missing and realized that their hats were gone. So you three are the captains, she said, holding all three hats, Portgas D. Ace, Monkey D. Luffy, and Sabo. My hat, the three brothers exclaimed. Gimme back my hat, Luffy yelled. So you're trying to pick a fight with us, are you? I've decided now that you are my enemy, so come at me, Usopp shouted from behind the mast. Stupid, almost everyone else thought. It seemed unfortunate, Ms. All Sunday said, putting Luffy's hat on her own, that small-time pirates have to look after a princess targeted by the entire Baroque Works organization, and a lone princess having to entrust herself to small-time pirates, and it is unfortunate where your log pose is going to take you next. Little Garden, even if I don't lay a finger on you, it's likely you won't make it to Alabasta. Without meeting Crocodile, the curtains will close on your mission and lives. As if we die that easily, Ace shouted, angry by that assumption. Ace is right. Now gimme back my hat, Luffy yelled. Enough howled. Anyone can make a brave front, the dark-haired woman said. With a flick of her hand, the three hats landed on Luffy's hands and something landed in Vivi's hands. An eternal pose? Vivi gasped. You'll be able to skip over the future obstacles and go to an obscure uninhabited island right before Alabasta. Huh? Is she not a bad person then? Nami asked. I'm so confused, Luna groaned. Why are you giving me this? Vivi asked. It might be a trap, Zoro pointed out. Oh, I wonder about that, the agent smirked. Vivi, at the moment, was so confused about what to do. What do? I don't want to accept this, but this is the safest way to get to Alabasta. Luffy grabbed the eternal pose from Vivi, surprising her. Don't waste time with that. Luffy instantly crushed the eternal pose, shocking everyone except for his brothers. Are you an idiot? Nami screamed, kicking Luffy in the face. She came here and gave us the safest route to Alabasta. What are you going to do if she does turn out to be a good guy? Oi, Nami, wah. Nami bit her tongue when she saw the look on Sabo's face. Keep quiet and listen, Sabo said before Luffy started shouting. Don't you dare think, Luffy began with a determined face, that you can choose the path of our journey. Luffy's right, Ace agreed. It's our decision to choose our fates, woman. I see, Robin smiled. How unfortunate, guys, Nami hissed. She blew up that Chakua mister, so I hate her, Luffy declared. Well, I don't dislike bold men. Ms. All Sunday stood behind the railing. Let's meet again if you survive. I don't wanna. Ms. All Sunday walked off the ship and landed on a turtle next to Little Boy. Let's go, bunch, she commanded. The turtle nodded and began to swim away. Whoa, it's a turtle, Luffy, Ace groaned at his little brother idiocy. Well, it's huge, so it's interesting to him, Sabou sighed. Vivi at the moment collapsed to her knees. I don't know what that woman is planning, she groaned. Don't waste your time thinking about it, Devon said. You're going to get a headache. Can someone explain the situation here? Usopp exclaimed. So is she part of the crew now? Luna asked, ignoring the calls for an explanation. Is it really all right for me to come with you? Vivi sighed. I'm only putting you in danger. Oh please, Nami sighed and poked Vivi's forehead. It's already your fault they found out about us. If you didn't want to trouble us, then you should have done so in the first place. I'm sorry. Right, Luffy? It's morning, Sanji, Oscar, make breakfast, Luffy declared. I don't think he cares, Ace put on his hat that he got from Luffy. Since the sun is up. Let's set sail, seriously? Arrow exclaimed with amazement. That happened? With the ASL crew, the ones who had no clue what was going on were being filled in. So, I missed all that action, Arrow whined. Why didn't you wake me up? Such a shame that I didn't get my chance to shine, Sanji sighed, holding his cancer stick between his fingers. But don't worry ladies, for the prince is now awake. I'm glad I slept through all that, Usopp shouted, sweating tremendously. Oscar was glaring at the two male first mates. You let Luna go into battle? Do you know how dangerous that is for her? Get over it, Oscar, she wanted to battle, Devon argued. Devon, you know how I feel about letting Luna go into dangerous situations. We're freaking pirates, Oscar. Luna just stared at the two fought as she casually sat next to Zoro. Are you jealous, Nami? Sanji asked, his cigarette somehow making heart-shaped smoke. Not really, Nami sighed. Well, you can count on me to back me up, Usopp lied, pointing at the back of his head on Luffy's wanted poster. The whole world is talking about whether or not the 30 million bounty isn't for my head instead. Usopp, please shut up, Sabou groaned. You're more of a horrible liar than Luffy. Regardless, Mika interrupted, I'm glad everyone is alright. Ace leaned against the railing that Luffy was sitting on. What are y'all thinking about, Lu? Luffy turned to Ace with a grin. Do you think it's going to snow? Luffy grinned. Why would it snow? Zoro asked, completely confused by Luffy's question. Oh yeah, you were asleep when it happened, Luffy said, before turning to Vivi. Hey, do you think it's gonna snow again? Well, it's not like it never snows, Vivi answered. But from that part of the Grand Line to the first island is special. The 7 magnetic fields that stretch from Reverse Mountain clash together, making things even more unpredictable. So you can't let your guard down. Though, it would be quite rare to encounter bizarre condition once you pass the first island. The Grand Line is the most difficult ocean to navigate on. So, it's absolutely imperative that you never underestimate this sea. But it seems that her words went through deaf ears as almost everyone was sitting back on the decks as Oscar and Sanji came out, holding trays with drinks on them. Anybody up for special drinks? Sanji shouted. You bet we are, almost everyone yelled. Vivi just stared, pissed by the fact she was ignored by them. Are you sure things will be fine like this? Vivi scolded, pointing at the relaxing party. Nami simply passed a drink to the blue-haired girl. Everything will be fine, Nami assured. They'll work hard through rough seas. Ace suddenly jumped onto the railing. She's right, said. It's not like we want to die or anything. I mean, with me and my brothers, we're unstoppable. I know, but we might be caught off guard at this rate, Vivi replied. With a smirk, Ace began drinking his drink before suddenly falling forward, face down, freaking out the two girls. Ha 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 ha, Luffy laughed, pointing at Ace. Sabou, Ace fell asleep again. Wah oh my god, not again, Sabou groaned. This duck knows how to drink, Sanji laughed, watching Karoo drink. Tastes good, huh? Drink up, buddy. Hey, do we have any fishing rods? Oscar asked. I'll make some, Usopp offered. Just let me fire up my ol' artistic skills. Fishing, eh? Not a bad idea, Zoro chuckled. Vivi watched as the three crews conversed like their lives weren't in danger. Staying on this ship, Nami began, bringing Vivi's attention to her, can make you lose stress, huh? Vivi looked at the navigator before looking back at the others. Yeah, Vivi smiled, that's true. Yua, Luna gasped, catching everyone's attention, Dolphin. Really? Arrow exclaimed, quickly running to the rail like a little child. Wow. Luffy laughed. That's so cute, Mika giggled. True, a dolphin had just jumped out of the water, all sleek and shiny. Everyone, though, had their eyes shadowed as they realized something was off. It's way too big. Let's run away, Luffy laughed. Almost everyone cheered. So another scuffle began to steer the ships away from the giant dolphin. One Piece. Nami looked carefully at the log pose strapped on her wrist. Ace, your log pose is facing the same place, right? She asked the fiery captain. Yep, Ace grinned, also staring at his log pose. We're at our second island of the Grand Line. They slowly moved into the river of the island, taking in the surroundings. Be careful, Vivi warned. I'm worried about what Ms. All Sunday said. There will be monsters, Arrow said with an eerie tone and face, making Usopp shiver. I can't wait. I'm not sure about that. Don't we need more food? Oscar asked Sanji. Well, we didn't buy anything from the last island, Sanji shrugged. It looks a lot like a tropical forest, Devin muttered. How strange. This is Little Garden? Luna asked. It doesn't look little. How come it's not cute as its name? Nami groaned. I never have seen these kinds of trees before. Suddenly, a loud screech rang out, scaring the crap out of Nami. Eek, what's that? You're so cute, Nami swan, Sanji cooed, heart-shaped smoke coming from his cigarette. Don't worry, it's just a bird. This place is just a normal forest, don't worry. Weren't we just told by Crocus that nothing in the Grand Line is normal? Sabo sighed. He noticed Luffy was just staring at something. What are you looking at, Lu? Is that a gecko? Luffy asked, looking at the weird bird passing by. Boom! The ship started to shake at a loud noise. The three crews were quiet for a moment before fear erupted from some of them. Is that supposed to be the sound of a normal forest? Nami cried. It sounded like a volcano, Usopp shouted, covering his ears. Eek! Mika squeaked, hugging Devin around the neck, accidentally choking him. Nami suddenly heard a low growl and turned to see a huge tiger. A tiger? The orange-haired woman exclaimed, thinking that the tiger would attack. But instead, the tiger fell to its side as blood spurted out from out of nowhere. Holy shit! Oscar gasped. That was so cool. No, it's not. This isn't a normal forest. How does a tiger die from blood? How am I supposed to know that? I decided we will not go down there, Usopp said, trying to be brave even though he was shaking. I'm going to stay until the log pose record the magnetic field, Nami declared, and get out as quickly as possible. We have to hurry to Alabasta. I think I'll stay here also, Mika whimpered, still accidentally choking Devin. Mika, I need air, Devin gasped. Sorry, Devin-kun. I guess I'll stay behind, Sabo sighed. Besides Devin and Mika, I don't think the other two can defend themselves. Hey, Ace noticed that Luffy was trembling. But the older D knew it wasn't from fear. Luffy, don't tell me, Ace started. Sanji, prepare a lunchbox, Luffy giggled. A lunchbox? Sanji questioned. Yeah, a pirate lunchbox. I smell adventure, Luffy grinned. Hold on a minute. Nami scolded. Where the hell are you going? An adventure, Luffy simply answered. Wanna come? There's no stopping him, Nami internally cried as Luffy shouted out for his lunchbox. Can I go with you? Vivi asked Luffy. Why you too, Vivi? Nami said in shock. Well, if I don't do anything, I will keep thinking, Vivi explained. I want to relax before both log poses record the magnetic field. Besides, Karoo will be with me. At the mention of his name, Karoo froze up in shock. He doesn't look like he wants to go with you, Nami muttered. I'll make a lunch for Vivi Schwan too, Sanji said happily. Could you also make a drink for Karoo, too? Vivi asked. Well, seeing how this is, Ace muttered before turning to Oscar. I'll need you to make me a pirate lunchbox. There is no way I am gonna let Luffy roam around with Vivi alone. Aye, Captain, Oscar grinned, walking over to the kitchen. But Ace, I'll be whined. Ha, with the weight trouble follows you around, no way, Ace lightly scolded. Luffy simply pouted. As soon as they got their lunchboxes from the cooks, the three began to leave the boats. Let's go, Luffy cheered as he moved forward. We'll be back soon, Vivi shouted. Make sure Luffy doesn't get into any trouble, Ace, Sabou warned. No promises, Ace laughed as he followed the younger D. Ms. Wednesday is a brave girl, Usopp complimented. Well, she did break into Baroque works, Nami agreed. Well, I'm going for a walk, Zoro said, stretching. You, too? Usopp wailed, as Zoro jumped off the boat. Wait, Zoro! Sanji shouted. Zoro turned in confusion. We're running out of food. Could you go hunt something down? Sure. It's not like you can hunt down food yourself, Zoro shrugged, beginning to walk off again. Hold it. Zoro turned to face the curly-brow cook. Are you saying I can't catch bigger game than you? Isn't it obvious? That's it. I challenge you to hunting? Sanji jumped off the boat and began walking off in a different direction from Zoro. Whoever brings a game with the most kilograms will win. Fine by me, Zoro replied. Mine will have the most meat in it. Hey, Sanji, can I come with y'all? Arrow asked. May I tag along, Zoro? Oscar hollered out. Just don't get in my way, the two Straw Hat members shouted. With that, Arrow and Oscar jumped off and followed whoever they wanted to follow. At the ships, Nami and Usopp were crying. What is with these people? Nami sniffed. I know how you feel, Nami, Usopp sighed. Hey, don't worry about it, Sabou smiled. You have me, Devin, and Mika. The three of you will be safe. Three? Yeah, you, Nami, and Sabou-kun. I can't find Luna, Mika said, worried. What? One Piece. Wa Luna? Oscar exclaimed as soon as he saw the small girl next to the green-haired swordsman. Why aren't you on the ship? Luna simply clung to Zoro's pant leg and stuck out her tongue. Why are you panicking? She's only a child. I can take care of myself, Luna argued. Lay off, Oscar, Zoro huffed. If she's Luffy's brother's first mate, you shouldn't question her. With that, the two began to walk off, leaving Oscar to stutter for a while before running after them. One Piece. Are you alright, Nami-chan? Mika asked the orange-haired navigator. In the background, Devin was trying to calm Sabou down. Yeah, you seem kinda pale, Usopp pointed out. It's just, I think I heard of it before, Nami muttered. Of what? Little Garden. One Piece. Vivi, Ace, look, Luffy shouted, holding something in his hand. It's an octopus shell. This is an ammonite, Vivi said. A what? Ace asked, confused. One Piece. Down in the lower deck of the Going Merry, Nami shuffled through the bookshelf. No, not this one, she mumbled. Where is it? How could I forget? I just read it. One Piece. Lou, what are you staring at? Ace asked when he noticed his brother and the duck looking up. How come there's a sea king here? Luffy asked. Ace raised an eyebrow before deciding to look in the direction his brother was. He did not expect to be looking at a dinosaur. Holy shit, Ace exclaimed. Dinosaur? Vivi gasped. Dinosaur? Luffy asked, excited. This must be an ancient island. Because of the hardness of traveling in the Grand Line, each island had built its own unique civilization and maintained it, Vivi explained. If there are islands with highly advanced people, then there are islands in which time has been stilled for thousands and thousands of years. This can only be possible because of the Grand Line's chaotic climate. So, this island is a product of the Grand Line's chaos. It's an island trapped in the dinosaur age. What the Luffy, get down from there, Ace yelled. Vivi, snapped out of her thoughts, finally noticed Luffy on the neck of the dinosaur. Don't just climb on it, Vivi scolded. This is awesome, Luffy laughed. One Piece. Guys, Nami shouted, getting their attention. Oh, Nami, Usopp said, did you find the book? We're in trouble, this island, Nami gasped. Whoa, slow down, Devin said. Suddenly, they heard the trees close to the ship's creak. Not sure what to do, they dared to look at the cause. Screams erupted from each of them. One Piece. Sanji stopped suddenly. Is something wrong, Sanji? Arrow asked. I thought I heard Nami Swan and Mika Swan call my name, Sanji answered, causing Arrow to sweat drop. What a ladies' man, the young swordsman thought. Arrow sighed and looked up, only to see a set of huge jaws. Before he could say something, Sanji went into action. One Piece. Zoro, Luna, and Oscar at the moment were staring at a triceratops. Well, really, Oscar was backing away, dragging a protesting Luna. What the hell is this? Can you even eat it? Zoro just asked. One Piece. The trees cracked at the weight of something huge. Sabo, Devon, and Mika were in the defensive while Nami and Usopp were crying in fear. Excuse me, a voice huffed out. I was wondering if you have any rum. Above them was a face of fat giant. We have a little, Nami squeaked. Oh, so you do have some? The giant said, leaning down to their eye level. Nuahhhhh. The giant suddenly screamed, startling them greatly. They looked behind the giant and saw a dinosaur biting at the giant's behind. Is that a dinosaur? Sabo gasped in shock. The giant quickly grabbed the axe by his side and cut off the dinosaur's head. Usopp and Nami screamed in fear as the giant held the dead dinosaur's head. I am Elbaf's strongest warrior, Brogy, the giant yelled in victory. Gabababa. Brogy turned to them. Good, I got meat, he cheerfully said. Let me welcome you as my guests. Sabo, Mika, and Devon stared at the giant while Usopp and Nami tried to play dead. One Piece. Meanwhile, Luffy stood on the head of a long-necked dinosaur, laughing. This is a great view, Luffy said. I would like to eat lunch up here. Oh, there are volcanoes, and weird rocks full of holes. Get down from there, Lou, Ace scolded. Ma, Ace, I'm fine, Luffy pouted. That dinosaur may be docile, but it's still dangerous, Vivi shouted, obviously on Ace's side of the argument. Relax. The thing is only eating plants. Besides, I don't think it even notices me. Let's go check out the weird holes up ahead. But Luffy spoke too soon, as the dinosaur opened its jaw, flipping Luffy over and having him fall into its mouth. The dinosaur closed its mouth and swallowed. Now you've been eaten, Vivi exclaimed in horror. Luffy, Ace screamed. He began to run forward in hopes to get his kid brother out of dinosaur, but before he took another step, a looming figure came and chopped off the dinosaur's head. Ace, Vivi, and Karoo stared in shock as Luffy fell out of the top half of the throat and landed on a large hand. He looked up to meet the gaze of a tall, well-muscled giant. Gegyagyagya, the giant laughed. Aren't you a lively one? I haven't had guest in a long time. Whoa, you're Hoogie, Luffy exclaimed. Are you human? Gegyagyagya. I am Elbaf's strongest warrior, Dory, the giant laughed. Down below, Ace and Vivi stared at the giant in shock while Karoo was on the ground, unconscious from the sight of Dory. It's a giant, Vivi gasped. Giants? They exist? Ace shouted. Yes, but this is the first time I'm seeing one, Vivi admitted. Dory looked down, smiling at them. Allow me to invite you folks to my place, Dory said. Ah, he spotted us, One Piece. Gababababa, Brogy laughed as he cooked the meat. There, it's all cooked, so eat up. We're not hungry, Usopp, Nami, Mika, and Devon said at the same time. Sabo, being Ace and Luffy's brother, took the offer with thanks. Guys, there are skeletons everywhere, Usopp whispered. No shit, Sherlock, Devon snapped, staring at the unsettling skeletons everywhere. Please feel comfortable. Dinosaur meat is very good. Your friend here thinks so, Brogy said, pointing at the hungry captain. We don't want again as thoughts of getting eaten came across their minds. Oh, Mr. Brogy, may I ask you something? Nami asked the fat giant. How long does it take for the log post to set here? 1 full year, answered Brogy, causing them shock and despair. So take it easy while you're here, Gababababa. One Piece. Gegyagyagya. This meat is really good, Luffy said, his mouth full of meat. Your lunchbox is good, too, even though it's small, Dory laughed heartily. It better be good, or I'll kick your ass, Luffy lightly warned, causing Dory to laugh more. They act like they've been friends for 10 years, Vivi said, sweat dropping. That's Luffy for you, Ace said as he noisily ate some meat. So why are you alone? Luffy asked. Don't you have a village? I do have a village, Dory answered honestly. It is called Elbaf, and it is located somewhere on the Grand Line. But, we have a rule in our village. For example, if a fight occurs, and no one says sorry, we shall listen to the Elbaf god. Because, our god is always right, and will give life to the righteous person. I'm still waiting for the result. This island is where I am fighting another man. The right person will become the winner and live. But it's been 100 years, And we still don't know the result, Dory yelled before giving a good laugh. You fought for 100 years? Luffy exclaimed. And you still don't know the result? Ace followed. Don't worry. Our lifespan is 3 times greater than a human's, Dory chuckled. Still, fighting that long, you must have forgotten the cause of this, Vivi argued. What will you get from this fight? That's just another name for murder. Boom. Volcano eruption, Luffy pointed out. Looks like it's time, Dory grumbled. He stood, looking down at the 3 of them. Ace and Luffy stared in awe. We were not sure when we decided it, but when that middle volcano erupts, it is the signal to battle. What? The 2 of you can't possibly hate each other so much to try and keep killing each other for over 100 years. Just what exactly was the cause of your... Luffy quickly covered Vivi's mouth. Stop, it's not about that anymore, Luffy told her. Luffy's right, Vivi, Ace followed. When things become like this, it's all about pride now. They watched as Dory stood, holding out his sword as the large figure of Brogy appeared. Both held the face of excitement of another fight. They charged at each other, their weapons clashing against shields. The reason for this, Dory shouted to them. We've forgotten it ages ago. Due to the incredibility of the fight, Luffy and Ace fell back onto the ground. Well, what's wrong? Vivi asked, worried. We're beat, Luffy answered for the both of them. They're just so huge. These giants, they're too great for us, Ace chuckled a bit, laying back as the fight went on.